Thank you to those who are already waiting on me on the live chat. Those who have joined us on air and those who are joining us online, we welcome you to this morning's program. This is your host, Minette Lawrence. Beside me is the empty chair for Pastor Percival, who I expect to open the door any moment. Now, morning, Percy, wherever you are, I'm calling your name. Morning to those in studio. Producer, good morning.
Good morning.
Lloyd, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me in the Christmas spirit. I hear that I've started playing the music a little too early, but you know what? I miss Francois. He would have started something in late October, I think. But August? Well, all right, I'm not as bold as that. But I am in the Christmas spirit, and I characterize that spirit as just one of love. Love, love, love. Love you, Pastor Percival. He's not looking very cheerful, I can tell you, but he did cut his hair and shave his beard, and he's looking naked, like a newborn baby, and you might get his attention. Like yes, I know. Him look like vexation. You know, coming down this morning, taxi drivers have, or some of the operators have still withdrawn their service. And, you know, coming through that lane, there's a lane which I have called Percy Lane, right in front of the transport center. It was clear, free and clear. You could just, you know, enjoy your time in it because those who usually park in it were not at work. I am very sympathetic to what's happening with the transport operators. I am disturbed by the way the Gleaner has characterized the Wholeness Administration's response to the strike. They've called it a snub. Bus and taxi operators bristling at the Wholeness Administration's snub of their strike that left thousands of commuters stranded in Greater Kingston. I am going to borrow the response of none other than the Lord Almighty. When his own servant Moses was snubbed, he turned to the people who snubbed Moses and said, "Weren't you afraid of me? When you treated my servant so disgracefully, weren't you afraid of me?" And so the question I posed to the Wholeness Administration, you're not afraid of the thousands of commuters who were inconvenienced? You think when you snub the taxi operators, is them you hurt? Is the working men and women, some of whom had to walk home? There will come a point when they will remember the insensitivity of a government that have to cause people to withdraw service, give up their own income in order to get your attention for whatever the problem is. If your citizens have to take to the street to get your attention, it means you are not managing well. And then I got the sign that it is time for a break. 6:30 a.m. Please stay with us. We're going to be right back.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM. Keep listening.
Wanted. A hurricane we name. How we rough. Whether we are man hurricane or woman hurricane. We want you to know that. We come here to mash up building, blow down things and just like flood out this. We no ram. We no respect no one. So no take no chance with we. Listen to Adprem and prepare. Hurricanes do happen. So be prepared. Yes, be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi star?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040.
or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try calling, cause trust me.
Winter Voucher Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
Vijam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vijam Printers, your best choice in printing.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back, and a very, very pleasant good morning to you. I'm saying a special good morning to the taxi operators, the drivers, those in the transport sector who are seeking to have their voices heard and their positions taken into fair consideration. Good morning to all of you. I know many of you listen to us while you are on the morning hustle, but this morning, hopefully, you're
I know hustle this morning because
hopefully you're still listening.
I'm getting a sense. I was just coming out this morning because I know some of the backstory to all of what happened. Remember, we had a gentleman who pointed out, because a lot of people are of the impression that the people are saying we are condoning lawlessness, but the gentleman yesterday says no, that is not what we are about. We are about saying, okay, we will pay, but we're asking for time. And then he pointed out something that some of the times they are being for tickets. And he said, but we pay those already. But one birdie whispered to me yesterday and said, we've been having discussions with the government in regards to how the police is doing this. And they pointed out, remember, we've recently fixed up Constant Spring Road. Mm-hmm. But before they fixed Constant Spring Road, you had bus stops along the way. How much bus stops you see along the way in the stretch of Constant Spring Road?
I have not noticed, but I have noticed that buses are just dropping people off anywhere.
Yeah, because there are no bus stops. And they pointed out, and then some of the operators have said, we don't have no place to drop off people legally. And the police will come and give us tickets. I would say, but that can't be right. Because we don't, so there is that element to it. But in terms of what has happened, it coming like Moran Bay revisited again. In terms of the people had a legitimate concern, and like the governor says.
Mm-hmm. Well, good morning, listeners. I'm sorry. Now, there is a right way to do things. Yeah?
True.
You look at what's happening. Yes, you do have repeat offenders. There's no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. But that's no reason for you to dismiss people and say, I won't speak to you. And the truth is, as media personnel, mm-hmm. we need to ensure that we report and report accurately. So the government really should come to the table, speak to them. The media should cover it and report it honestly.
Yeah.
Right? No, fine. You give an amnesty 5 years ago. You have people who got tickets then. You have repeat offenders, yes. Put some conditions in there where you say, okay, if you're a repeat offender, then this is what's going to apply to you. Right? And you have some people who, them pass repeat
And you
Right, there
deal with
was
them
one guy
according
on
to
the
the law.
news that show stacks of tickets that he got. He paid over $200,000 worth of tickets. And he's saying, even though he did that, it is still on the records that they are not paid. So you said there are problems. And I'm saying you can't just dismiss it like that.
Well, listen, the strongest weapon that the citizen has is his or her voice. And if when you speak, you are not just ignored, but the administration takes pride in stating that your voice is being ignored and will be ignored, we're seeing it really as a trend. Minister Warmington said it. He said, if you protest, it will take me years to get back to you, so keep quiet. And we've heard other
And they
ministers,
defended him.
and they are defending him on every point that he has made in recent time. There are no detractors from his side. We've seen similar instances of ministers of government, MPs, cabinet members, whatever, stating that citizens need to be quiet about these things and bear with them and be patient and make no sound. We see the kind of laws that they want to introduce in the same transport sector.
Remember that one
if
about
drivers are remonstrating unpleasantly, let me put it that way, with transport officers is a special offense. This is more than a trend now. It has become an established practice for government officials to expect citizens to just shut up, and put up.
But you know the sad thing about this?
That's not
the
democracy, by the
Warmington
way.
issue. People are saying, well, other person did do it too. So
Come
therefore,
on,
because
man.
them did do it, we can do it.
No, sir.
So two wrongs make a right.
No.
You don't set an example. Instead, you follow the bad behavior.
Yeah.
And then try to institutionalize it.
You know, there's a bigger issue. Remember I reported on Sunday I was talking to this 13-year-old young man?
Yes, who said in Jamaica everybody do what they want.
No, if that is a youngster who's just gone into to high school, I was looking at him and I see really at 13 time is big for his age. And I was saying to him, what you say? And he repeat it. Because he says, everybody do what is right. Doesn't that
what
remind
they want? That's Israel without a king.
Yes.
And without
in Judges,
any
everybody did what was right
respect
in
for God. They did what was right in their own eyes. And this is where we are. When you get in a democracy, when people protest and the government regards a protest as lawlessness and disorder, they've withdrawn their service. That's what they've done. If when you withdraw your service, which you are doing, this is not your contracted service to the government. These are transport professionals who enter into contracts with people. It's their investment, it's their livelihood. And they're prepared to take a hit in the pocket.
Yeah,
that's
because
one of the only things you can do is withdraw your labor. And the government call it lawlessness and disorder.
You see, a lot of them believe that they're gonna have the coverage of Parliament forever, and they are gonna be in power forever.
That is
so
true.
Therefore, you can live any way you want because you have protective services, you have all of these things. And I don't want anybody to misunderstand that I'm issuing a threat or anything. I'm saying we must be mindful of what we do. Create a society in which you can live no matter your station in life.
And that's what people of Jamaica are balling
That's
out
what
for.
we're crying for. And where there's equity.
Yeah.
Because if you do not make provisions for a man to go about his business lawfully, you cannot penalize him when he does what is convenient. Do you remember your case that went to the Privy Council, the FSC?
Yes.
Where the government says you need a license to do something. And then for years, they proceeded to put no one in place to issue licenses. And then when it suited them, they tried to penalize persons for doing business without a license.
And when they were wrong to do it, they changed the law in order to make.
But
they did it
retroactively. But they did that with this transport thing, with the
with the fines.
Yeah, and they had to go to Parliament with quick. This happened in recent times.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, a long time they might do it. Long time.
And they
We
push
lack
the truth on both
integrity.
sides.
I just want to make it clear.
We lack
This is not just
integrity
about the
in our
JLP.
government.
This is about government in general in this country. So when the opposition sit down there and be quiet about this, don't think that people are seeing you as angels. You're just as bad.
Whenever they have the power, whoever has the talking stick, abuse it. You know the talking stick? Must be familiar in counseling sessions. Anybody who have the authority to speak, abuse it.
No.
And that's a trend we have seen well established in the 60 years of self-government, and Jamaicans are repudiating it. We're not accepting it, we reject it completely.
How can you use the behavior of a few to dictate what happens to the majority?
But in every strike action, you always have those on the fringes who become overzealous in guarding the process.
You always have that.
Always. And typically police, when you know a strike is on, you put out extra police personnel to curb those excesses. You're going to have some looters somewhere because places not securely guarded.
Every
and
opportunity.
Yes, but you don't let that set the tone for how you respond to a legitimate action of the people trying to get the attention of their government. So that's one. There's that issue now with the missing, the stolen firearms.
Missing firearm. And they comes back with a person we know very well. As I was picking plums. And
yes, because Pastor Miller himself has said it is unreasonable for the police to assume negligence whenever your firearm is not on your person. And I see, and that's a no-brainer. For any reason, you may have to leave your firearm. You may have to remove it from your person. Case in point, I went to court with a high-value individual who had a licensed firearm. Of course, me having a certain level of intellect, I said, don't worry about it. At the Supreme Court, it is the Supreme Court. There's a police desk. You must be able to secure your firearm until you've completed your duties. Then you can. Oh my goodness. It was a stir in the court. There was no place for him to leave his firearm. And he was due to be on the witness stand in like moments. And there was the registrar. I said, I cannot believe it, that in the Supreme Court of Jamaica, a licensed firearm holder has no place to check his firearm, do what he's doing, and then leave. They're saying need to go over to the police station, cross the road, and it was one running up and down. In the end, without calling any names, somebody said, if he hadn't declared it, I would have said, just leave it in your car. And then
somebody broke them car.
And somebody broke them car in the government parking lot. It would have been another issue. So that is the state of affairs in Jamaica. When the Firearm Licensing Authority CEO is going to say that is why we insist that license holders follow the safety measures to ensure that their firearm is secured at all times.
Is that darling?
It's nonsense. Doesn't he know? Doesn't he know that in most of the places in Jamaica, government places included, there is no provision to secure your firearm? I believe you could walk into a ministry building with your firearm and it is undetected. I believe that persons will sit in the company of vulnerable high officials with their firearm on their person because we do not make provisions for it. Just like how them fix the road and don't make no provision for bus stop.
Because it was just about fixing the road.
It's just about fixing the road.
It's about fixing the road. And you remember, I've raised this before, and people need to understand. Remember the market that was there?
Yes.
All of that land is just sitting there, foul and idle.
It is a sad day in our country. Because, the sad part of this? Here we are speaking about these things, and bet your bottom dollar you're going to be vilified for it.
Oh, well.
Vilified for speaking the truth.
Remember, that if you're
and
not...
I do have a problem with it.
Remember, that if you're not vilified...
Yeah, and that's how it is.
If you're not vilified, you're the villain.
Oh?
Yes, if you not see the devil when you're walking along, that means you're walking with him. So I am happy to be vilified.
That's a sad thing.
But we have to learn to speak truth and practice speaking truth.
And we need to learn to think before we speak.
No. Do you know, I have learned the office of the DPP gets asked to make a ruling when the police is either unsure of exactly how to proceed, or when they are not of the view that they should proceed in a particular manner, but others are insisting.
Is that
Let me
political
explain.
interference?
It could be, depending on the, it could be, which is why I'm raising it, depending on the person. I mean, I've personally been the subject of pressure being put on the police about me. I know of that. The police is saying, I see no evidence of criminality, but others are insisting, no man, catch her, there must be something.
There must be something.
They send it to the DPP. So I understand that the policy is whenever they don't have the confidence to move in a specific way, whether for or against, based on the law as they understand it, they go to their lawyer, just as you would in your daily movements. When you're confident about your rights, you exercise them. But if you're not sure, you seek advice from someone who has the knowledge. And the DPP is their advisor on criminal law.
Good.
So if you see the DPP ruling on a matter, it's because the police did not have the confidence, the foundation to move one way or another.
Okay. So
Follow?
all right.
Good. So why did the DPP have to rule on Philip Paulwell? What was the police thinking that required them to send it higher up? Something happened in July. We're in November.
And he reported his...
He would have reported it immediately. I mean, if you think about it, he's not only a high-profile political individual, he's a lawyer. And your car has been broken into. Chances are the police came to him right there on the spot where he was. I don't know the details. Yes, the report is that he made an emergency stop on the road and his car was robbed.
Yeah, was broken into.
Right. So obviously, just like in Pastor Miller's case. Now, I'm telling you, what is the standard that we're applying where if something is stolen from you, you can be deemed negligent? You've been robbed, you know. What is the level of care that a person could exercise to prevent robbery?
None. I don't expect to be robbed. Tomfoolery.
So, I mean, if you have it on your person and someone comes and say, give me your gun, what are you supposed to do? Because you fear that they might charge you for negligence, you lose your life over it? The very police will tell you that if you are accosted in certain circumstances, don't. Yes, hand it over because, you know, your own safety and security is better than. So it better you had said to them then that I had it on my person. And this is when you speak the truth about a situation, you end up in jeopardy because you have spoken the truth. He could have said, I had it on my person and they took it off me.
Yeah. You see this narrative?
I smell political interference, as you say.
Yeah,
somebody wanted a headline of Paulwell charged.
You see this narrative? You see this narrative? And we have to be so careful. Same knife.
Stick goat, stick sheep?
Yeah. So the question is, who is the sheep and who is the goat? Ruth Venture is back on the thing again. And if truth be told, there are some stories with Ruth Van Towers that things won't come to light. You know, if you pray, you must believe that what you pray, according to God's will, we've been praying for exposure. It's not only ourselves alone who are
many
praying for exposure. Everything that is in the darkness will come to the light. Bob has a song that said, and if night should turn to day, a lot of people will run away, and a lot of people are going to begin to run because exposure is coming from the throne room of God on the deeds that have been done by people which are wrong, which are unrighteous, which are unjust. And if he is the ruler of the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and all that dwell therein, he's going to bring it to pass. He's going to cause his light, the light of his glory, to begin to shine over Jamaica. And we pray all of the time that the glory of the Lord will fill the earth. I pray that many times over this nation as we do our prayer on Wednesday, that the light of God will be shone and everything that is in the darkness will come to the light. And I'm just thinking about it, really, what a response. Here's a response that you could have said, okay, is this a legitimate concern? We are not backing in any shape or form lawlessness or thing, but it is a concern that people have had. Can you listen to us? And then when you hear the story about people being given tickets and just like in that constant spread where you stop at Immaculate, you're dropping off a student, there's no bus stop there. And if a policeman sees you, he'll ticket you. I'm going to say you stop, and then he's going to unleash a whole lot of other charges against you. By the time he finish with you, as Corey was saying, there are 4 or 5 tickets. Yeah.
And in truth, the buses stopping like that is a real inconvenience and disrupts the flow of traffic. So it's not even just from who gets ticketed. It's the impact it has on other road users and traffic, right? And we have a concern about that. We have a concern too about people being able to get home safely from work, especially yesterday. I know our engineer walked a part of the way to Duane Park.
This morning?
Last evening.
Yeah.
I don't even know how my housekeeper got home. She said she came in a van back the morning. That she came at all was amazing to me. So people are truly inconvenienced by it. My niece said at her job, half the people didn't come.
Half not come out today because it still continues.
Yeah, and then she said, and they showed you the crowd in Halfway Tree and students.
With one bus.
Children on the road. So it is a time. You want to say something?
The government said that them don't care.
That's what they have said.
They have applied the Warmington approach to it. They don't care.
Warmington principle.
The Warmington principle is at work here.
They don't care.
So that is the demonstrated response of this administration.
And to my understanding, all the guys are saying, come and speak to us.
No, they've been speaking to them, It's not come and speak to us. They have been speaking to them. They have been in dialogue with the government.
So that is why it has erupted in...
When
they said to you, listen, forget this. It's not going to happen. You call that dialogue?
Remember, we had a... Remember when I never came because I was out and I was up there on the streets of...
Oh, yes.
You remember that I was talking?
I am sure if it was meaningful dialogue,
it isn't.
The guys would say, okay, fine, let us go back. I would say to my guys, listen, let us go back whilst we, sort out the details.
But it's not a negotiation. That's what's clear. It's one side saying, I want this, and the other side saying, you can't have it. And you're at that stalemate for a prolonged period of time. Can I tell you, the people always win. It's just a matter of time,
It's the people don't know.
The people
and that's
always
the
win.
So the people don't know. They don't understand.
Yeah, let me remind.
Power resides in you.
We have the power. You see all those persons who were inconvenienced yesterday, and that's the power of a strike. A strike is meaningless if it don't cause inconvenience to the populace. So it's our attention they need to get.
They've gotten people's attention.
Our attention, because they are mothers and fathers and brothers and uncles and parents, just like the rest of us. They too need to have some security in how they earn their income, and they have expectations of fair treatment by the government. If I pay a ticket one time, I'm not paying it twice.
The irony of this whole thing, is that when you subject people to hardship like this, they are able to deal with the hard times. So when the true hard time comes, you are now in problem. Because you have already prepared the people to deal with hard times. So when it hits you now, what are you going to do?
But it's only 63 of them, so...
63?
So their hardship, and that's another thing, their hardship won't shift the needle of anything. If 63 of them decide to protest in the street, we could easily walk past them.
Well, don't forget, the garbage collectors, they play a critical role in this society. The helpers, they play a critical role in this society.
And,
you see what happened when the garbage pile up? So you stayed in a castle and think that you went this the little man down there and you are going to be unaffected.
Yeah, but you notice, it's what happens in Europe. Like when they were having the problem with the farmers and they, we're not doing, they just go up to Parliament and they just started dumping whatever it was.
The spoiled goods.
The spoiled goods or whatever, they just said, no.
Yeah. So it really is for us to understand the power we have
push people to that,
and to use it and to use it well.
No, man.
Dialogue. That's all they ask for, dialogue. Meaningful dialogue, honest dialogue.
I heard the information minister conceding a couple of things, which I thought, once you concede those things, you need to be talking better to the people. One, he conceded that it is both precedent and common sense to introduce an amnesty period before you make wide-ranging changes to the law.
That's what they did with the guns.
Like they did with the guns. So I was expecting him to say, no, so we have to do something with this, the introduction of the regulations. Instead, I hear the man say we did it 5 years ago. 5 years ago, half the people who are protesting never have license yet. Because a lot of young people who are in it.
COVID happened 3 years ago. You see how things can happen over time that changes the face of the world.
So
and you're talking about 5 years ago?
You did an amnesty 5 years ago.
People go through the hardships of COVID.
But understand, that when you do the amnesty 5 years ago, you are the one who delayed in introducing the law.
Yeah.
So the persons that you were preparing to receive and support the new law, they are no longer relevant 5 years later.
They're different
set of people you're dealing with now. And the point of the amnesty, and I think he needs to just go back and check, the point of an amnesty is not to give the people a break. It is to build up a groundswell of support for the law that you're introducing. A law that people don't receive well, don't support, don't want to work with it. If people reject the law that you pass, they said not by might or by power,
but by the spirit of the people.
Thank you. If the spirit is not there to support that law, no matter how much coercive, you don't have enough policemen to bring that under control.
And, we must reiterate that it is not to excuse the lawless. The people who have been repeat offenders. Not at all.
Well, let me tell you something about that repeat offender point. If tickets are being unjustly distributed to raise money for the crown,
the crown,
you don't have no offender.
But do you remember the weekend? One leg of the highway had about 5 points.
Police checkpoints.
Of speed trap.
Which highway?
Going down to Ochoreas.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, look, speed trap is necessary.
You're just moving from one to the next.
5 points?
Police personnel. Maybe something else was happening. This was on... Which day was it? Friday?
They have speed gun.
No.
You use speed gun for catch gunman.
Some dignitary was passing through there ensuring that
the speed gun was a disguise.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was a covert operation.
Good strategy then. Let me go.
It worked.
Yes.
I mean, you were just moving from one to the next to the next.
And let's make it clear, this is not about the police. Police
all right.
is
it would be very lawless if we blew past the 7 o'clock break.
So... Yeah,
you
see, you have me talking now, so here we go.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Jamaica is a cultural melting pot. Today, our music, fashion, dance, and other expressions of art continue to make a huge impact across the globe. Ask any non-national about Jamaica, and they'll most likely link the country to the music of reggae icon Bob Marley. Many Jamaicans have benefited from participating in what's known as the orange economy, or creative industry. But apart from knowing about the players and their work, can we really...
With the creative industry is the lack of data, the lack of comprehensive data and empirical data on the sector. who they are, what's the value of the contribution to GDP, how many persons are in the industries, what are the specific drivers that you need to be contemplating, and so on. There's a lack of data.
Deputy Chief Executive Officer at the JBDC, Harold Davis. According to UN estimates, the creative industries globally generate annual revenues of over $2 trillion and account for nearly 50 million jobs worldwide. The local results to be gleaned from the JBDC's survey will enable the agency and the government to determine the economical impact of the creative industry, which will prove critical going forward.
If it is that we're going to invest as a government or as private sector in the creative industry, you need to understand what you're investing in and what kind of returns can you expect from the investment. This provides that basis of that base information for us to glean a proper developmental kind of structure and developmental path for the government of Jamaica to support the industries and for the practitioners, for the industry proponents themselves to understand where they are.
The findings from the survey will highlight the performance of the sector and its contribution to the gross domestic product GDP, similar to tourism, manufacturing, and other sectors.
We want to get to the point, like the UK and other countries like that on an hourly basis, they're able to say the value of these industries contribution to GDP and employment and that type of thing. So then, when the government says, all right, your value X%, so if I invest Y, then I would expect X amount of return. Similar to how they do we do for tourism, manufacturing, and so on.
Through the survey, the JBDC also aims to provide information on opportunities in the sector to enable the government to strategically invest in its development.
Further to that, I want to get to the point where Statin and all our data management organizations for the government are able to say definitively and in an accurate way how the industry is impacting the economy and on an ongoing basis and what needs to happen.
Mr. Davis says everyone participating in the creative industry is being targeted for the survey. There will also be several consultation sessions with practitioners across the island.
So we're having peers, focus groups, governance, folks in particular industries, whether it is museums or fashion or digital media or design or whatever it is. We have a whole set of focus group consultations going on to start that process. And then in the third week of November, we're launching a service under the mantra of creative voices. It means that everybody in the creative has a voice. We're making you count, making your information and your input count in the decision making for the country and for the creative industries.
Deputy Chief Executive Officer at the JBDC, Harold Davis. For more information about the survey and consultation sessions, call the JBDC at 876-928-51615 or visit jbdc.net.
Have an illegal gun or know someone who does? The gun amnesty program begins November 5 to 19. Surrender the guns to the nearest police station, the FLA, or a lawyer. Your identity will be protected.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
A difference you can hear.
Fast FM. Keep listening.
Warning. When there is a hurricane warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you wanna boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard. If you a fisherman, make sure you turn off every breaker. And before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, river bank or low line area, if you see flood waters are rising, get out. Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and a sliding, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so
Be prepared. A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how do I take taxi style?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try and call him, because trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
Call us at 926-3666. We are something special on the road.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
And the Bible talk about words. Yes.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to telling us we're gonna have to put a mic.
I was leaving you to
tell us about the discussions that we have off here. But a verse comes to mind in terms of what we see unfolding in front of us. It says, Proverbs 29:2. When the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in power, they groan. That's from the New Living Translation. And I could go to the different ones that speak to it. I wonder what the message would say. The Amplified says, when the righteous are in authority and become great, the people rejoice. But when the wicked man rules, the people groan and sigh.
Mm-hmm. Are we groaning and sighing? Or are we rejoicing? What is the mood of the nation?
Oh.
When people call us, they can tell us, are they rejoicing or they're groaning? The people who call us are groaning, I know, but maybe they know some people who are rejoicing.
Or show me a righteous ruler and I'll show you a happy people. Show me a wicked ruler and I'll show you a miserable people.
Well, I know that I am groaning.
Groaning.
If we were to poll this room, who's rejoicing? Show hands. No hands are going up. Is it because you're ignoring me? Who's rejoicing? Are you rejoicing, engineer? During this time in our country? You have cause to rejoice? No, that's a no.
I
what about
rejoice
you?
every day.
Because of God's goodness.
So,
Yes, I rejoice
based
for
on what's
life. I
happening in this
rejoice for
country?
health. I rejoice for God's goodness.
Based on what is happening in this country, are you rejoicing?
Yes, because there is God to save me from it.
All right,
To protect me from these evildoers.
So we have a fence dweller. You were not listening to the scripture? You didn't listen. All right, read it for him, Pastor.
Which one of the versions do you want?
Anyone.
One of them.
All right, Lowell, listen and then vote.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes. When the just flourish, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan. The people groan. The other one was the people sigh. A lot of people are sighing in Jamaica now. It says, is there not something different?
So are we in the hands of the righteous or the wicked? It's about administration. It's the response to government.
We're in the hands of the wicked, without a doubt.
Okay, but you're rejoicing. All right.
Yes, because I know he can never win over me. I know that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir. What about you, Pastor? Are we in the hands of the wicked or the righteous? Because you chose it.
Unrighteous. Too much unrighteousness about the place, man. And when you think of statements by people who are in power, like a Warmington, and what he says,
you're grown.
You're grown, man.
And this is not about how it affects you personally, because we would be less than what we should be if we were only concerned with how it affects us personally.
Yeah, but
I'm always chiding people who say, "Well, I'm doing well."
Yeah.
So but you have to continue to be concerned about how it is impacting the rest of the country overall.
Yeah. When justice rules a nation.
Yes, that's one version.
Everyone is glad. When injustice rules, everyone groans. And we want justice. We want justice is the cry
of the people.
Everywhere you go in this country. Because as I am saying, Psalms 89, righteousness and justice are his throne.
The foundation of his throne.
Yeah. That's why it says righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproof thereof. So we keep saying it and we keep admonishing, we keep encouraging us. So we, in our individual way, need to take responsibility. Remember, we say man to man is so unjust. You be just in terms of your dealing, so the people who interact with you will not grow aside. I say, him again.
What is the standard that we're setting for governance in this country? And by we, I literally mean Minette and Percy and Lowell occasionally chiming in. What is the standard that we are advocating? The standard that we're advocating is one in which the citizens should not need to resort to street protests and what the government is calling lawlessness in order to be heard. We practice a democracy, the bedrock of which is consultation and engagement with the people. Not so they can make the decision for you because you have been elected to manage the business of the people, but so that you can know their heart and understand what will work for them, and then you apply your great managerial ability and your technical skills to produce a just result. Therefore, when a citizen or a group of citizens becomes so distressed over a situation that they have to take to the streets, you must engage with them. It cannot ever be appropriate to say you're not taking it on and it is lawlessness and disorder and you're not responding to lawlessness or disorder. The people who could say that were called monarchs, and many of them were beheaded by the people. That is how democracy got its beginnings, because people were careful of their head and the crowns that they were coveting and wearing. Man himself got exhausted by the consequences of his own ambitions and rise to prominence. Democracy didn't come out of any noble or selfless place in the world of man.
Didn't. came out of?
It was necessity that birthed democracy. We cannot keep going like this. Every time we fight and take over another country and try to kill off the people and enslave them, the table turn on us and we're going in a circle. Can we find a better way? The United Nations, all of the League of Nations first, the United Nations, all of these resolutions, all of this effort to try and bind the world under one common order. All of those efforts are because man realized that it is fruitless and it presents an existential crisis for us to be constantly using the sword to cut our way to power and using a heavy hand to get people to fall in line.
Yep.
Democracy came out of necessity. Of course, I am of the theocratic school.
You have the theocratic school?
Oh, yes. I believe in the rule of God. I believe in showing reverence to an absolute power of such great magnitude that it keeps you submitted and respectful of the order of things. That is my school. But the next in line to it, I guess, would be a democratic government that actually takes into account what people are thinking and feeling and saying. I do not expect a democratic government to have the benevolence of God, because man don't have the ability
to do that.
But you can operate under delegated authority from God,
which is what Paul speaks about,
to carry out his plans in this realm.
Because you understand that you rule on behalf of God, and if you understand who God is and you stand in fear and awe of who he is, then you know at some point in time you're going to have to give an account for what you have done. So when you're doing everything, he said, I wonder what God would do in this man. And he's revealed his word.
Of course.
And his word just simply says, you honor me, and out of your honor, fear, and being awestruck of me, because you know that beautiful Minette has been created in the image and likeness of God, and handsome producer has been created, then I deal with them rightly.
Yes.
Lyrics pastor, go on.
Beautiful Minette. I stopped at beautiful Minette. What else did he say? And you know, we say it in every different way that we can, but it all boils down to the same thing. We are commanded to love God and to love each other.
Sorry, you miss out the engineer, so please.
No, brother Lloyd, man. The number one engineer at this. I be big him up, you know. You're in the Spain.
The best man at best.
The best engineer. You understand?
Well, we were giving Andre that title before, so we have competition. Do you know, this morning I was saying to Lowell that the reason why man need not be coveting what another one have is because God made us unique,
special,
and for a specific purpose. So there's no competition for the spot that you occupy in his plan.
Understand that. Me understand that clearly, and God had to say that to me.
Really?
Of course.
How did he say it to you?
Because you see people
just give me the time and the place
and going and you coveting them, you envying them, you want what them have.
You look at where they are and say, why am I not
there?
Yes.
Because I probably have better abilities and things. And him said, no. He has a race that he has to run. You run your race, because at the end of it, I am going to judge you on what I did put in you to do. So if you understand that, in Hebrews it says, run the race.
Yes.
That is set before you. Have all of these people cheering, go Lowell, go Percy, go Minette. And he's saying, all right,
you run your lane.
You run your lane, man.
Yep.
Because
there is no competition for what he has set you to do. No competition. You're the only one. So can you imagine the disappointment? Oh, Minette didn't show up.
Yeah.
There's no backup Minette.
Oh, run the race, run the race.
We are the ones who treat people as if they are disposable and interchangeable. Oh, we could just reject this one and slip another one in his place or so on. Nope. Yesterday I heard somebody say something about if you don't show up, you can delay the plan of God. You can never delay the plan of God. You can only delay the fulfillment in your life.
Of your purpose and your destiny.
And then you would have not run your race. That's it. But the plan of God does not depend on any one man standing in any one spot. The plan. To understand that, you really have to contemplate what it means for God to be the beginning and the end. As it begins, it is finished. So there's nothing that can delay it. I mean, in my mind, I can say the words, but I really can't conceive of it. in the way that we do things. You know, you're cooking a meal. You know, you have to go in some kind of sequential frame to get to the finished product on a plate.
And that's how we think, but God
That's
doesn't
how we think, and that's how we
Linear,
move.
but God
Even we say we multitask. We can't multitask. We have to
been
do
proven
one thing
scientifically.
in its moment.
Yeah.
One thing. My hands can't do two things at the same time.
You can get confused.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
I can't be holding the pen with this hand and writing and doing something else with the same hand. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you holding people to account because there's one person that all of us have to account for, whether we like it or not, keeps us in a good balance in terms of how we deal with each other and how we go about doing things. Wow. And remember, and as you have said, everybody have a race they need to run and run it well.
Yep.
And it's not how fast you run. The thing, you need to finish the race. Because some people start fast but finish. It is only being faithful and finishing.
Yeah, and I don't want to be taken out because I'm injured. You know, like they did not finish, where I collapsed at the starting block.
Yeah, and there's these images of the Olympics.
Yes, that's what came into my mind.
When in 1988 he was the person, one of the favorites, and he got injured, and he just He says, I have to finish this race. You see it all this time about perseverance. And his father jumped over the thing and ran onto the track and caused his son to finish the race. And then even more recent history, one of the World Championship, this guy from Curacao was running, and there's other gentleman at African, and you saw them, the race finished long time. It was a 10,000 meter that they were running, and he helped him through the line, and that it was as if they won a gold medal. You finish your race.
Spirit. So you see, at the end of the day, though they are running for that medal in the natural, they actually came away with something greater, and the world remembers them without remembering who actually won the race. You just remember, that event. One of the things that it's very useful to mention at this time, and, even for those who have taken some action and that action looks like, in the eyes of the person you were trying to attract, it looked like they disparage it or, they spit on it. And you may be feeling that that action on their part has some meaning about who you are and the importance of your affairs and the things that concern you. Do not disturb yourself or even worry about it. In the sovereign will of God, no action is wasted.
I've learned that in this life.
And what you need to do is step into your sober mind, understand what it means that you've been treated in this fashion, and take some decisions that can turn it around. I expect that every person who felt motivated to join in the protest have some construct in their mind of what responsibility they expect the government to take, how they expect to see things run in their country. You can't take that action without contemplating the bigger meaning of it. And it should motivate you to get involved. It should motivate you to hold your leaders accountable. It should motivate you to take a right position on certain things in this society. And if it does nothing else, it must motivate you to support other people who are being oppressed and who are suffering because they need care or they need the attention of the powers that be.
There was an ugly side to this demonstration. I saw on the television a young man pulling people out of a car. I saw them puncturing tires. And I saw fire and all of that.
So fire in Portmore.
People need to understand, we don't need to do these things
in order for
our protest to be effective.
Yeah, man.
No, you can't force a person to do what you want them to do to support your cause. At the same time, people should be aware that if there's a legitimate cause out there, we should support it. Right? We don't need to bring violence. We don't need to force, coerce, or whatever the case may be. Because when we do that,
if it's a good cause,
then we are just as bad as those against whom we are protesting. Yeah. So we are saying, let us find a way to do it in unity. Yeah, let us encourage people, not force them, and let us not destroy while we seek to get our message out there.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with you 100%. Of distant memory, 1979.
Very distant. Oh.
Do you remember that, Bridget?
Well, what do you think?
Remind him.
I remember 1979, 1980 very clearly.
Is this gas riots?
Yes.
Yeah. But you know,
I went to Calabar and I had to walk from Calabar.
Gas riots.
Yes, Spanish Town.
That was a fun day.
Yes. That was a fun day for
walking from Kingston to Spanish Town.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, man.
Students everywhere. Yeah, there was
found it fun.
Element of danger, but yeah. I was, I think, in Brownstown. 1979.
Yes.
But where was? Oh.
Yes, man.
All right, I wasn't on the street.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, I remember that.
I was reminding my children of that this morning. I saying, there are elements, and 1979.
But you were like in second form or first form?
Middle school, third, fourth, one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Man. Yeah, man.
Young boy, man.
Yeah. But one of the things we shouldn't be shy about, and those excessive behaviors don't define the situation. And we should never allow it to become so distracting that it takes away from the right focus. Whenever you have a protest of any kind, there are fringe elements that attach themselves.
Yes.
Sometimes those elements might even be a part of the state apparatus, because you use instigators to mash up the protest and make it look like it's something else. I'm just saying.
We have to be careful. We have to be so careful.
So what it requires, and protesting is a legitimate expression of the people's will in a democracy. There is no law against protesting. So when people are carrying out their legitimate activities, the state apparatus is supposed to be prepared to give coverage. And you see it in some countries that don't mind cameras all over their place. A protest is going, you see the line of police standing to keep the protesters safe, really, and to ensure that it don't become something different.
Yes.
We don't do that.
No, we try to stop.
We try to stop and shut down the protesters and arrest the protesters. The UIC man was arrested when he had the thing.
It's interesting.
Downtown. That's what we do.
The police themselves were protesting. You remember?
Yes. You remember Vanguard of them went down to the Supreme Court, and we're all over the place. And I was thinking, well, who's maintaining law and order against those lawbreakers?
They find it funny as they come up to the side on the break.
We're definitely on the break.
A difference you can hear.
Fast FM keeps listening.
Warning. When there is a hurricane warning, button tie down everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you wanna boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard. If you a fisherman, make sure you turn off every breaker, and before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, river bank, or low line area, if you see flood waters are rising, get out. Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and sliding, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, Inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the
Half
Lord.
a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, away I do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
You hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. This is my time thing in terms of Colombia. I'm a fish. I'm a parrot. And I'm moving around with my friends. And today I'm deciding I'm going to be in Colombian waters or I am going to be in Jamaica. Oh, I'll stay over Jamaica. Jamaica high today because, it makes me feel high today. So I've decided that's what I'm doing. Just being.
But we were talking about it in the break, so let me bring the listeners into the frame. You know that 33 of our fishermen were held in Colombia because they weren't watching the line of demarcation and entered Colombian waters. Now, man, in our arrogance, we have divided up the seas. Mm-hmm. So we have the water for Colombia, water for Jamaica. And then because there were frequent breaches, people were wandering over into each other's territory, they created what in military terms they would have said is a demarcation zone. Mm-hmm. They created a joint fishing zone because, of course, the fish don't know that we have created these lines. So the fishing territory you might find that the fish is rich in this place or that, and they move to this one. So anyway, there's a dead zone in which both sides can fish. And I'm looking at it and saying, but dear Lord, don't they need the cooperation of the fish?
Of course.
If traveling the seas, because when the Jamaicans say, the fish move over to the Colombian side, they don't know that the Jamaicans need to stay. Or maybe the fish are a part of it and are smartly staying away from whichever boat is in the water. Right. I'm making light of it just to show how ridiculous we are when we seek to penalize people because they are making the best use of the environment which God gave us. I see Professor Vassiani here saying that the Jamaicans were lucky. Fishermen in Colombia saga, lucky to be off the hook.
Okay.
I applaud the Colombians for letting them go. Yeah. I shame the Jamaicans for taking so long to respond to their people. These are simple tradesmen who were following the fish. Mm-hmm. If you're a fisherman, that's what you follow, the fish. Mm-hmm. Because you're trying to get a catch and come home to look after your family.
But the question is, when you're out in the waters, I guess because of the instruments you can know where you are at and and know where you should be and
but
where you
these
should
are
be.
high value instruments.
Yeah, man. So I think, but I want to shift again, just talking about the injustice that exists. So if you do not know, and this is from Rail Read, Scandal CMU, the then permanent secretary in the ministry, who was Mr. Dean Roy Bernard, is now in court saying that they do not have the right to just transfer him. And know what has happened here. Let's listen to this. And if night should turn today,
a lot
of people are gonna run away.
Would run away.
Okay, so it's before the court, and he says that what has happened to him in February 2019, he was transferred from the Ministry of Education to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service as Director General. But here we're discovering that on the civil service establishment, she's the lady testifying, Mendez, her name, she's unaware of any post titled PS Director General in the Civil Service Establishment Act. But how did he get there? He says he got a call from the then Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Saunders, who is going to testify today to say, Dean Roy, this is a conversation. I've gotten instructions of the Prime Minister, who's doing some shifting of permanent secretaries. So I'm moving you over to the Ministry of Finance, to...
They parked him, man.
They parked him because he was standing in the way of what they were seeking to do.
In the Ministry of Education.
And remember, the lady who took over, she's been parked. Because you know, you have a
park her now too.
Because she, according to what the Auditor General had said, what is this? And we haven't heard anything about it in recent times. There's money expended, given to this organization, which really should not have been given.
What was it, 124 million?
Something like
Millions
that.
of dollars.
Yes.
That were expended in breach of every kind of protocol or procurement principle.
And so my thing is...
And we knew he parked him because he told the court that since being moved to the new post, he was not given or assigned a portfolio.
Yeah.
And he wrote to the financial secretary raising the issue of being assigned a portfolio and received no response.
Yeah, the PS permanent secretary, the public secretary. How can we deal with our people? Because, okay, understand the role of the permanent secretary in ministries. They are the chief financial person. Isn't that what they are?
Mm-hmm.
So if anything is going down, they are the final gatekeeper. And they know what is happening, what is acceptable, what is not. So if them see something going on, them say, me not sign that, you know. Me not signing that. Because according to the protocols that exist, how are we going to explain that? And so he stood in the way of a lot of things. And now that has become the CMU scandal with Rail Read and Fitzpinnock losing their work, and now those guys have received nice payouts from the different thing. I'm saying, so for standing up, doing the right thing, in the moment you are parked, them say, you know what, me not take this line now. I am taking you guys to court because there's a rule of law that must exist in a nation. That is what justice is about.
Oh boy. So at every level,
yes,
we're not looking good.
Yeah,
the people are groaning. We know for sure Mr. Bernard is groaning.
Yes.
Because he said he lost the opportunity for 7 salary increases. And a most remarkable suggestion was put to him that salary increases are discretionary.
No, because you get something there every year, increments every year. Come on.
I say, now, if the increase is discretionary, it sounds like your pay is discretionary.
Yeah.
I mean, this attorney would really be suggesting that a member of staff could remain at the same salary while other persons are receiving increases for the job, for the same kind of job. Not in government. It can happen in the private sector for sure.
Why are we doing this to our people? It's a thing that is stabbing me in my heart, you know.
Yeah, that's why I grown.
Yeah.
Aside from any impact it may have on me, because like Lowell, there are some things that I anticipate in this world based on my purpose and my movements, and I know that I will suffer.
Yeah.
I know that there's some amount of suffering that I will have to endure because I will not keep quiet when people think I should be quiet. And I am going to push for change when the status quo wants to remain the same. If you move like that, you must expect that people are going to take all kinds of swipes at you, and sometimes they are going to really hurt you. So, but because I expected it, I rejoice in the goodness of God, because I know that the real plan was not to injure me, the plan was to kill me. The real plan was not to set me back a little. The real plan was to destroy me and render me voiceless. So the fact that I can speak means that God has seen some use in what I am doing and has kept me in place. So I rejoice in that. But for the rest of it, I groan. I groan daily. I look at the things we're doing to our people, and it cries out from the ground. The blood cries out from the ground. Not just the blood of the innocent babies who died in a bacterial infection in the hospital. That although there's not even any report on it. The minister had said that
they invited PAHO to come.
That PAHO was to
help them.
I wouldn't hear anything.
So where's that report?
You know, someone said to me that the hospitals, them just filthy and dirty. Any kind of outbreak is expected. When you go to them and you see the conditions under
some
which
areas, some people really try with the resources.
Yeah.
And I below the people who try with the limited resources that they have in doing it. I want to point to something that a week ago, the Prime Minister was calling for a civil service that was innovative. Remember when he had the Jamaica House Fellows, and he was this grand statement he was talking about.
Yeah.
So match that against what, according to Mr. Bernard, and he says, among Bernard's grounds for the claim were that the Prime Minister had no authority to recommend reassignment, and that the Commission had a duty to review the Prime Minister's recommendation, and that neither the Constitution nor the staff orders contemplated the forcible removal of a PS to a lower or other position in the public service. This is a landmark case, you know.
Yes, if it is...
This is going to be a landmark case.
If they stay the course, because there is a trend I see. Our judiciary, both in the criminal, when you look at how the cases are dealt with and so on, and in the Constitutional Court, they are very pro-government.
They're not pro what is right and wrong.
Not for the people.
Yeah.
Not for the people. They bend over backward to show that government is right and reasonable, and what else can they do? And it's not surprising, because most of them, the only employer they've ever had is government.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd have said 99% of them. To them, government is king, is God, is the world. Government pay them, government educate them, nurture them, and it is like the Stockholm Syndrome. So the decisions that come out, so these people would have to stay the course and take it to the bitter end, wherever that is. And if when that is done, they are still seeing that all is not well, then they have to take it now to the demos, to the people. The democracy would have to speak.
Yeah.
But it's a very expensive run to do that.
Yeah, but and this is you made a point on this program that some of the times lawyers need to take on these things that people.
Yes. Yeah. Can't always want to be paid your full dollar.
I mean, because if you throw principle out through the window, then what, you stand or rise with? Yeah, you fall for anything.
You'll fall for anything.
And that is what we need, people.
I know the day will come when there will be an institution in this country that will fund the conduct of these cases and press for them to be heard in full and can pay good value for that work. I know the day is coming. That is badly needed. If you look at how the democracy has matured or evolved in other countries, you will see that they always had a human rights advocacy group coming out of the people that fights for civil rights. Every good country, every large country that has managed to preserve its democracy has such an organization. Jamaica has none. Jamaica for Justice is not that. And whatever J-Flag does, you have sectional special interest NGOs that in themselves are so associated with government and maybe even big business that all they do is really reinforce the status quo. They appear to challenge some things, but not effectively. When they have their meetings and their big events, you see the same government ministers on this platform. They are not sufficiently separated from the status quo to do the job. You really need
them fighting for the rights of the poor and the underserved and the underprivileged.
And when you look at it, some of them is really government fund them, or supporters of government fund them, so they don't have that independence that you would desire. That is one of my disappointments with the NIA. When I heard that the NIA get so much money from the United States government, I just put a line under their name. Because you can't be funded by what, in many ways, one would say the enemy. And how it came out was when the United States Embassy, you remember that outspoken old man ambassador that the U.S. sent to us? I think it was Mr. Tapia. He actually came out and said that they were not going to give any more money to the NIA. Surprised me. And that's what happens when you take money from the wrong place.
They can take it and do it for good still, because that's what I take the money and do it. You know that I'm going to do it, so know that is that on the party. If you're still going to support me, then do that.
But and yes, it can work depending, but so much of that depends on the personality.
True. That's why I need people with strong backbone.
Let me tell you, man, there's some money that you don't take.
You mean there's a poison chalice?
Yes, some money that you don't take. You cannot. Even if you manage to maintain independence for a while, once you become dependent on their money.
You pays the piper.
He who pays the piper calls the tune.
But, I would be very Machiavellian. I know I'm going to do something else, but I still take it. So
you could only get away with that one time.
Yeah, but see what happens. But it's one time. But in the one time, I'm going to do great things.
And so so if you and you make a good point, you can start that way. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it now with a kingdom principle in view. You can be Machiavellian and start that way, but then you'd have to continue to be Machiavellian to survive, because what is your foundation is what sustains you. So if your foundation is corrupt, is suspect, is based on dishonesty or subterfuge, then you're gonna have to keep that going.
You do it for a time, like a Jacob, until you meet your moment and you change.
But Jacob's foundation was not suspect. Jacob was a child of promise.
But he was going.
That's his foundation.
He was going a different way.
But look at it. Even when he tried to use his own imagination to define his destiny, he couldn't escape his destiny.
That's true.
Because that was the foundation from which he came was of a different order. I know my foundation.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that.
You're playing devil's advocate.
I'm not playing it.
It doesn't suit you. You're missing the horns. You need the horns.
And that's how it fools us. Because we have characterized as this with horns, and him don't come like that. Comes as an angel of light.
I persist with the discussion only because I have applied that logic and it has failed me.
Okay. Seriously?
Of course, I've said, well, Lord, you have presented this in my hand. I shall use it for your purpose. But in the end, when he gives you a mission, he also gives the provision for it. And if you take what I'm calling the Ishmael approach, you end up with the Ishmael result.
Okay.
So it sounds like it is an argument of convenience that works in the world of men. But if you are going to succeed with it long term, you're going to have to keep doing the same thing.
Until it changes.
And it's going to change on you.
Yeah, but you know.
That's why one lie begets another and another and another. You keep building to protect the first lie
so we speak
until
the truth.
it is, so you speak the truth.
But you know, one of the promises that you stand in, that the Lord will bless you, that even your enemies will come and
will be at peace with you.
Yes.
Right.
So I live in that.
Yeah.
So even my enemies, whatever they do, they're going to say, but why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
I once said no to something that when I calculated the cost of the no, I was like, really? But I was calculating the cost of the no long after I had said no. Because when it was proposed to me, the no was automatic. And much of why I said no was not even so much because of any high morality. It's because me no want nobody have secret for me. So if you make a proposal to me that is off color, two of us going no. Now I know I will never speak.
I don't know about me.
I don't know about you. So I said no.
Right? You said no. I don't understand why.
Yeah, afterwards now, I calculated the cost of the no, but here how it go now. If I had calculated it at the time, I would have had to put a plan in place to silence you. You see how one thing lead to another?
You can't imagine that.
And after I silence you, I would have to put a plan in place.
To silence who?
To silence the silence.
So you know where it goes.
So you see how one thing leads to another.
That's why Granny always say, always speak the truth.
So just start on the right
Start the
foundation.
truth at all time. Because you don't have to remember what you say.
Absolutely.
So we see it a lot in government now. Because
look at what Mr. Bernard is there saying on the witness stand. He's saying a man called me and said, I am acting on instructions of the Prime Minister to remove you, to demote you, and park you in a place.
Director General in a ministry.
When no such post exists. But I want to tell you, there have been many Director Generals. Because that is a strategy that they have used. And until he challenged it, I'm sure it has never been challenged before. When you don't qualify as a PS based on the statutory parameters, they call you a Director General. Think about it and just how many you know. In ministries, they call you a Director General. I've known several in the tourism ministry.
They were the
Think about it. Yes.
Director General.
Appoint them as because they don't.
They don't political appointments?
Yes, but they don't qualify as a PS because a PS is a very special creature that come up through the system and go to get specialized training, and it's a statutory position.
So you have to have certain...
You have to have certain qualifications, and there's a pathway to training. Remember, as you were saying, the permanent secretary is the chief accounting officer, and it is presumed that if the minister dies or changes, the PS can run the ministry.
That's correct.
And it's one of the ways that you ensure continuity when administrations change. So the PS must have deep experience, knowledge, and training.
Wow.
And when you don't qualify in that vein, they can put you somewhere and call you Director General and park the true PS in some Siberia equivalent where they don't get any work. This man is challenging it. Now, when the phone call was made to him saying, this is your fate, you think any other persons imagine that one day it would be said and reported in the paper?
Yes. Yeah, they never do. They never did.
They never do think about the day. So you see, I don't bother to do anything that can bring about that day.
To talk the truth.
Absolutely.
Talk the truth and speak it ever.
I pray one prayer. Lord, let the truth come out.
Yes.
That's it. Let the truth come out. However long it takes, let the truth come out because I can live by the truth.
Yeah. As we go towards the break, I just keep reminding persons this is Parent Month, and there's a focus. I think on the 20th we celebrate it as Children's Day, if I remember, when I acted as president of a PTA.
You were acting president?
Yeah, and I Was elected.
Weren't you the president?
That's what I mean. Sorry, it's choice of words. I'm
in that mood.
we spent a lot of time in the month of November just empowering. So we had a series of meetings, even in the pandemic online, and the parents showed up, and they were so grateful. So I'm just encouraging the presidents of PTA, the parents, to demand from your PTA. How are you empowering us this month? How are you empowering us this month? What are you doing for us to make us better? Because we said better parents make stronger people, stronger students. So parenting, it really begins there. So I'm just putting in a plug for the NP, National Parent Teachers Association. I know they have a new executive. They have some activities out there. We have a National Parenting Commission. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we just need to do what we can to empower parents, because a lot of the challenges we are having goes back to the home. Home is where the heart is, and if our young people's hearts are troubled and they do not believe that their parents love them unconditionally, it is going to be very tough on them. So big up to the parents who are doing their work, to the fathers. I'm seeing more fathers carrying their children to school. There's a gentleman that I observe in my drives up to my son's school. He's walking with his daughter from halfway tree up, walks her up to school. You see them having a lively exchange of ideas. He drops her off, then he goes off to work. Big up to that daddy, you know yourself if you are listening. And the many fathers all across this nation who are doing well in terms of their children, and the mothers too, because you are the nurturers from the home. So as we go into the break, what do you think?
I do want a minute to say something.
Yes,
because,
go ahead.
The opposition spokesperson on education is reported in great detail.
Yes.
A press conference which he called. The things said in the press conference, I mean, I guess you just call a press conference because, anyway, they called a press conference. It says Senator Damian Crawford has urged the government to urgently implement a raft of new initiatives suggested by the People's National Party to tackle violence and indiscipline in public schools.
You must listen to me, man.
All right. The main suggestion seems to be the government should link the PATH program to parental involvement, including participation in Parent-Teacher Association, PTA activities.
Yes.
Continuation of access to PATH should therefore be on a term report basis, where schools indicate that parents have shown interest and have come to school whenever they are requested.
True. I've observed that.
What have you observed?
That the parents come to school when they're requested to come to school.
Okay. All right. I'm just looking at the theory behind the proposal. And then he asked for things like closed circuit cameras to be installed in schools. And he says this could deter possible acts of violence. A camera has never been known to deter an act of violence.
No, man, it does underground in some of the
A camera has never been known to deter an act of violence.
Why do you say that?
Because people ignore the camera after they become accustomed to it. And the camera does not have the power to interfere in any human activity. In fact, those who discover that a camera is there then try and tear down the camera.
Yeah, but
a camera is like an audit. It's after the fact.
No.
You look at it to see and to find out what happened.
Yes. Hold on. Okay. So I am associated with public schools, and the experience is...
I have cameras. Let me put it. Let me use my experience, and since you're going to use yours. I have cameras in my house, and all that tell me is who did what and who moved where. It don't stop nobody from doing one thing. They still do it.
No means talk to the students. Talk to the students on the ground. Because my son, may I tell you?
My son was very aware of the camera, which we had to explain to him was to make sure that if someone, because we can speak through the camera if we see something.
Right. Okay, but
my son learned how to avoid every place that the camera could not reach.
Okay.
So if there's anything that that cameras will do is help people to figure out where to go so they can't be seen. We're at the 8 o'clock break, and I didn't get to say what I wanted to say, but we'll say it to you privately.
No, money.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM, keep listening.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. A draft declaration being discussed at the G20 meeting in Indonesia deplores the impact of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and calls the use of nuclear weapons or threats to use them inadmissible. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who's attending instead of President Putin, said Western countries had tried to politicize the communique. He claimed his country was willing to negotiate with Kiev.
I can't go around in circles. We have repeatedly confirmed through our president that we do not reject negotiations. And if anyone does reject them, it's Ukraine. And the longer it refuses, the more difficult it will be to agree in the long run.
Earlier, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky told the summit that Moscow's war against his country could and must be stopped. The discussions in Bali have been dominated by the impact of the war on the world economy and on global food supplies. Jonathan Head is following developments.
There's a kind of split here, really, in some ways, although everyone here agrees the war in Ukraine is an urgent priority and there's been a united call to end that war as soon as possible. You've got the US and its allies, the G7 group, if you like, really pushing for a hard line against Russia, for Russia to be condemned and isolated. But other countries here aren't willing to sign up to quite such a confrontational approach. They say, yes, the war in Ukraine must end. Perhaps you use more subtle diplomacy to do it.
The United Nations says it's documented evidence of torture and ill-treatment of prisoners of war by both Russian and Ukrainian forces. The UN is trying to corroborate reports that 8 Ukrainian prisoners died at one infamous detention centre, Olenivka. It also said there were credible allegations of summary executions by Ukrainian forces. From Geneva, Imogen Folks reports.
The majority of Ukrainian POWs interviewed by the UN reported being tortured in Russian custody. The abuse included prolonged beatings, attacks by dogs, and being forced into stress positions. Russians held by Ukraine described being punched and kicked when they were surrendering. Both groups told of being subjected to electric shocks from a type of military foam known as the Tapik. The UN says the abuse by Russia appears to be more systematic.
The summit also saw the full return of the Chinese President Xi Jinping to the international stage. Mr. Xi had not met any Western leaders since the beginning of the pandemic, and as well as President Biden, he's been holding a series of bilaterals. He discussed strained relations between China and Australia with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese following an earlier meeting with Emmanuel Macron of France on the need for a global agreement on how to deal with the debts of vulnerable countries. This is the latest world news from the BBC in London.
It is an effective security device.
A baby born somewhere in the world today will become, by UN calculations, the 8 billionth inhabitant of our planet. The UN chief Antonio Guterres said the milestone was an occasion to celebrate diversity and advancements while considering humanity's shared responsibility for the planet. It's been only 11 years since the Earth passed the 7 billion milestone, but the UN estimates the rate of growth is now falling. Turkey says nearly 900 of its security forces are taking part in an operation against the Kurdish militant group, the PKK, in the east of the country. It follows Sunday's bomb blast in Istanbul that killed 6 people, and which Turkey blames on the PKK, something the group itself denies. Danny Aberhard reports.
This operation in a mountainous area of eastern Anatolia is part of ongoing efforts to degrade the PKK's operational capacity. The authorities say weapons, ammunition, and components that could be used for improvised bombs were seized. The Istanbul attack, though, has raised tensions considerably. There are fears the conflict could escalate both within Turkey and beyond. One Turkish official has said Ankara plans further operations against Kurdish groups and Islamic State militants in northern Syria, as well as Iraq.
Kenya's former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, is visiting the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo to assess the security situation. He's meeting people who have fled the fighting between government troops and M23 rebels. Mr. Kenyatta has been holding talks with the Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi in a bid to resolve tensions with Rwanda, which is accused of supporting the rebels. Climate activists in Vienna have thrown a black, oily liquid over a painting by Gustav Klimt. Videos online showed a man emptying the fluid over the picture, Death and Life, which hangs in the Leopold Museum. The museum says it's not yet clear if the painting has been damaged. That's the latest world news from the BBC.
A difference you can hear.
Best FM. Keep listening.
Come in, my DJ, and give the people the information.
Hear this, if for a hurricane come, you have to go through a list of things where you need and things we have to fix, like your roof, your doors and your window them. Buy your nails, hooks and fasteners and fix them. Get your hammer, your pliers, your rope and your wire. Stack up with ply and a holy palumba. Plastic tarpaulin and plastic bag. Porcine stove and a coal stove. Kerosene lamp, matches and candle. Yo, trim the tree them and clean the drains. That's how you prepare before a hurricane. Be prepared.
Prevention is better than cure. Better listen to ADPEM. A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
He's coming back.
Yes, yes, indeed, it's redemption time with Apostle Clive Campbell, presenting a life-changing, life-challenging message to encourage, inspire, and motivate you towards your destiny. Every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. and on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 10, right here on Best 100 FM. It's redemption time.
I'm standing firm.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, away I do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop down and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. Them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling him, cause trust me. A billboard is only used
Winter Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. Well, we're going to open the lines because if it were up to Minette, Percy, and Noel, you would never get to call us. The lines are open. The numbers to call are 619-1508-279-8473. Before we took the break, I wanted to make a comment on what Senator Damian Crawford said. 2 points he was making, and he felt that they were worthy of a press conference. And they get like a 130 page of the Gleaner on page what, A3, A5, whatever. Well covered. And I have an issue with the two things that he thinks, no doubt thinks are quite brilliant. The first one about linking PATH to parent participation. Many of the students who are on PATH are there because the parents are not participating. Meaning parents, whether it's just lack of opportunity or interest, income is low, kids are not getting their fair due. I don't think PATH was created for the parents. I think it was created for the students. What do you think? It is meant to give support and rescue some children who, if they had to rely on the support of parents only, they would not make it.
All right, but there is something that works with PATH, having interacted with people who work on PATH. They look forward to it because it helps them.
It's really money, isn't it?
It's money,
yes,
or it's beyond money.
Everybody look forward to money.
Yeah, but beyond money, it guarantees, like when the child goes to school, they have a meal.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes,
So you get the PATH benefit in terms of money to support, and then if they're on PATH, they
get a meal.
They get a meal. So what happens?
Well, let me ask you the direct question before somebody call. Would you say that a child whose parent didn't show up shouldn't get lunch?
No, we're not saying that. I don't think he's saying that.
That's what he's saying.
Because it forced them to.
He says you need to measure parent participation and link the distribution of the PATH benefit to parent participation. And I am just reminding Mr. Crawford and anybody else who's looking at any issue that pertains to children, the interest of the children come first. Not even the interest of the government in retraining adults. The interest of the children come first. If a child need a meal and then parent delinquent and not supportive of things, that child's entitlement, which is a constitutionally guaranteed benefit, cannot be linked to the behavior of a parent. A lot of the children who are on PATH, it's because the parents themselves have difficulties.
Yeah, agreed. But do you think the idea that he has put out would lead for greater involvement of the parents?
No.
I think it would.
No. If you're a parent waiting to hear that I must take an interest in my child in order to get some money, then no.
But I think it would. It is probably an incentive.
Yeah, you asked me if I think so, and I said no. You think it would? That's fine.
Yeah, because based on
I'm not usually.
Me understand. We're just talking about what works with some individuals.
I am a lot more hopeful about the condition of man's heart than some people are. But in this instance, I think the initiatives that you want to use to engage parents must be of a different order, a higher order than saying, I'm going to withhold lunch and money from your child unless you show up.
Is that what he's saying?
Of course, that's what he's saying. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, beautiful lady.
Good morning, madam.
And gentlemen, how are you doing, great man?
I'm good, How are you?
Wonderful. I want to sing a little song. It says, the best of the best is Best FM. The best of the best is Best FM. Just put it to the test.
Yay! I admire your bravery. What is happening?
No, I'm looking at the children and the SPART program.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Although the program is supposed to be helping children, the parents, some of them, I was told, instead of whenever they get the money, they use it for the children. They use it to cultivate up their structures.
You do it a lot of times. That's true. There's evidence of that on the ground.
And this is something that we cannot afford to continue to happen.
Mm-hmm.
While our children suffers, I have a plan that I'd like to sit down with both of you and talk to you about it.
To get greater parent involvement? To get greater parent involvement?
No, it's really seeing the help of children be manifested through a different level.
Okay.
But as I said, I'd like to sit and talk to you both about it because you have experiences that I don't have. But there are a lot of things that are happening to our children.
Yes, that's true.
And one of them is the mouth of our people who keep on saying these children are a generation of vipers. I'm annoyed whenever I hear that because death and life is in the tongue. So when they turn viper, now we call the police on them. And this is coming from a wide cross-section of religious people. And I'd like to see that stop because we can see different things in children. And if we catch them early, we can stop it. But the education has to come from the Prime Minister right down. Because he has to see that each person is equal in every way. And although we might not have riches to show off on others, we are equal in the sense that we breathe in oxygen.
Yes, ma'am. All right. We're coming to the point of the year when we will sort of have a kind of open house engagement. So you'll be able to visit us here. I don't know if some other earlier opportunity might present itself, but we welcome the discussion. Yes, Pastor? I know especially with your experience. Mine is more limited and anecdotal. Pastor have real experience.
Tell me about it.
All right, so listen out for when we are doing that so we can have a chat.
I'll be on the air because sometimes I'm on the road when you're on the air.
It's all right, man. You'll know. You will know. We're gonna
call me. Keep shining your light and speak good things.
Thank you very much.
Wherever you go.
Yes.
Love you.
Have a lovely day too.
Just going back to Damien's article, he speaks for a minute. A department of socialization for the schools. Every school must have a department of socialization.
Where have I heard that before? Is it in the Communist Party manifesto?
Okay. Excuse me a moment.
All right, I'm gonna just pick up something I see Conrad has put on the chat. He says, "Look how much crime on camera for records." Yes, but it don't deter criminals from their act. Do we have a caller on the line? Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, my good lady.
How are you, my good man?
I'm fine. You know, we're having some problem.
Yes.
Can't get our radio station on the air. It seems to me like something is going on because I have people from like Merca.
Yes.
Yes, calling said they are not hearing the station, and I have people from in St. Anne and people from Westmoreland. So I don't know what's happening. We can't hear nothing.
Well, I am going to report it from time to time.
My brother, we're in St. Anne and we're in Westmoreland.
Specific in the Sablama area.
Sab.
And I'm in Prairie.
Prairie, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's weeks now. We are not here. You know what? When we tune into the band, because like 105. That's it. That's
3579.
589.
3579.
Oh, 35.
Yes, 100.5, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, 0.9.
Man, I'm saying it. I don't know because we have to. It look really. It looks so obvious to us that like something is happening because we can hear the station. When I tune into the station, I'm just hearing like when someone doing an interlude of instrumental music.
Oh, you get music?
Wow. Do you have internet in that area?
This program.
You have internet in that area?
Yes, we have internet.
All right, because when you're not able to get it from free to air, you can actually go online and pick up the station. And you can share that with your friends and family as well.
So we're going to go in like what, in Play Store?
YouTube.
You can get it on YouTube.
Yeah,
you can get it on the website.
Okay, because I'm so confused. Believe me, I'm so confused because I can't hear the station. I listen to the station all day now, and I am not hearing nothing from it.
We are happy for this feedback because I just want the listeners to know if you're not getting it free to air, you can get it on the internet. So as long as you have internet connectivity, you can go get it on YouTube or you can get it on the Best 100 FM channel.
Oh, okay. So it's nothing about like transmitting of
well,
yeah, man, there might be problems with a transmitter from time to time, but we're saying if a transmitter goes down, you can still get it via the internet.
It wouldn't be down for weeks because
no, it wouldn't be.
We are very responsive. Once we get a report that the signal is gone in any part of the island, I mean, you know, it's like people live on the road, just moving from site to site, checking the signs.
And it is feedback like yours that helps us because sometimes we might not pick it up immediately.
But when you say for weeks in an area now, that is concerning.
That's a problem.
Yes, you know, I'm saying it. I know nothing wrong with the radio that we listen to.
Yes.
You know, yes, something.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it. Thank you for the feedback.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yes, when the statement that has been made by Mr. Warrington.
Yes.
You know, it's so, you know, that's a blow beneath the belt, I guess. Because, you know, if you're gonna use your term in the way we use it, that is straight racial discrimination.
It is.
Straight.
It is.
You know, no argument about that. But, you know, I see that where they don't care. You know what I see? I'm seeing like these men who are in parliament, they are the one who employed us and not we employed them.
Not the other way around. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. And these laws that they are signing off, I know that the opposition and the government is signing off these laws to protect themselves. You know, that is not good because I know that's the way it goes. You know, they trump up these laws, some fictitious laws, and put it in place to safeguard themselves. You know, just like the last case with that comes out with the Auditor General, with the
health ministry, yes.
Yes, and when they put it out, they are barring the Auditor General from publishing and saying what they want to say and what the public want to hear. You know, we know that those corruptions are going on with the Jamaican citizens. I
don't think they're barring the Auditor General. I think it's the Integrity Commission that they are stopping from publishing reports on investigations or on contracts awarded and so on, which would give people who are watching government activity, it would give them a timely opportunity to investigate and make sure that all is in order. Where the Auditor General is concerned, though, she makes her report. When she delivers it in Parliament, because there are open sessions, the press is there, the press can pick up and cover whatever it is they think we need to hear. But then that seems to be the end of it because the Auditor General's department itself does not have the power to take action on these reports that she makes. And it then looks as if they find out their own mistakes and talk about it, and that's the end of it. The talking about it becomes the action.
And it cannot be.
And it cannot be. So.
And that's one of the things we put before them when we presented, that you need to have
organizations with teeth and power.
Yeah, that's what we.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what the purpose of the DPP when they get the report, when the report is on her desk.
Yes.
No one has been arrested. No one has been charged.
No, but then we see that Mr. Paulwell, whose gun was stolen from his car, a ruling has been made that he is to be charged. We're not concerned about Minister Paulwell's negligence. I keep calling him minister. That's prophetic, I guess. Mr. Paulwell's negligence.
Former Prime Minister.
No, he's an MP. He's a member of Parliament and a former minister.
Yes, not all those things they were publishing.
Yeah.
About who will be charged. But that's not the case. We want to hear about our hospitals and all those funds that are those
yes, I think
all those things that have been brought up. That's what we want to hear.
The public have a greater interest in those things. All right, my brother, thank you for the 2 points you've made. We'll follow through and see what's happening with the transmission.
Okay.
All right, we have another caller on the line. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, caller. Welcome. The legacy of John Golden.
Yes.
In response to Mr. Warmington. You're my white man. Where you come from?
Good morning and welcome.
Hello. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, Neville. You're not the white man that Percy talking about.
Man, he's an African.
You're right, African.
You know, you can't be a white African.
Yeah, man, I know, you know.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
but I want to put 2 suggestions on your program this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but first I want to say a word. Morning to your listeners and your valuable callers. I want to say a word to Fortis.
Mm-hmm.
I submitted my 60/60 form to Best FM.
Yes, I have it.
Ago. Yeah, and the minute I submitted it, I am serious about my contribution to Jamaica and what this program, this station is all about. I am willing to be part of any program to help anybody in Jamaica once they are willing and able unconditionally. But we have to be able to communicate effectively, both online and face-to-face. So you can give him my number. I can give 2 hours per week to any service. I prefer working with males, especially young males, in my areas of competence, and I will help in any way, shape, or form I can help unconditionally. So not supposed to second that now. I've told you from about 2 weeks ago to give him my number.
But I thought he was in touch with you.
No, I didn't get any call. Probably have my old number, but my phone number.
Oh, it has changed. Okay, all right.
Yeah, but I want to put 2 suggestions.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You see this radio station, yeah? You're going to need a telethon. And you can run a telethon for about a month. Because we need to get back Jerry Bungo Small and the year, you know. Hello?
No, I'm listening to you. Yesterday I was sharing.
You can run a telethon and all your program for a month to ask the well-wishers of the station and the well-wishers and the subscribers of the program to just donate a minimum of $1,000. That's 1,000, you know, a year to the program, and you're sure you can get over 5 million from that, from which you can pay who you want to pay, and we can get on with this program to keep educating the Jamaican people. It's telethon. A telethon is a good thing to have on this program. All you do ask people to call in. If you have any contribution to make, you tell them, and you set up your bank account, whether in a credit union, wherever, and we make a contribution through the telethon.
I understand how a telethon is run, but let me say this. I don't believe the best information I have suggests that there is a time slot for Bongo Jerry, and you know that all radio stations reserve the right to set the timing for the programs based on whatever their agenda is. I understand that a slot was assigned for Jerry's program. And the only reason I was not given the slot to announce it is because I was told that Jerry had not signed off on it. But there is a slot for Jerry. I mean, yeah, sure, I would love for the station to be more prosperous and for listeners to contribute in a kind of a, public funding sort of model for programs which they find useful even and beneficial, even if maybe it doesn't have the commercial return associated with it. That is a wonderful thing for citizens to do. You support what you like and what you need. But my understanding is I went and I checked because several persons have asked it on the chat and you are raising it on air with me now. And I like to have the accurate information. I went to find out what is the schedule for Bongo Jerry's program. And I am told that there's a slot for 4 days per week, just as before. But he had not signed off on it. It was offered to him. It is his for the taking. He has not signed off on it. Now, typically when a program is moving a time slot, there would be a promotion around where you can hear it and so on and so forth. But if you don't have the consent of the presenter, you can't do a promotion.
Exactly. Well, I hope wherever Mr. Smalley, okay, and may your food basket never empty, Mr. Jerry Smart.
Okay, then.
Second suggestion I want to put on this show. You see, right now as we speaking.
Nigel,
I'm never.
Can you just hold me on
Nigel Clark?
on the break?
Yes,
So hold on a second.
Pass the break. Hold on for us, please.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
One in. A hurricane we name. How we rough. Whether we are man hurricane or woman hurricane. We want you know that we come up and mash the building. Blow down things on just like blow out this. We ain't no ram. We no respect no one. So not take no chance with we. Listen to Hot Prem and prepare. Hurricanes don't happen. So be prepared. Yes, be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3, believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, away, I do take taxi star.
Jano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
You drink high, cause trust me.
Winters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back, Neville.
Yes, as we
thanks for holding
right here now,
Yeah, before you go, I want to make something clear because I went and got some information. I got some information during the break, and I just want to clarify. The changes to the programming where Bongo Jerry is concerned is not because the station is having a cash flow problem and can't afford to keep the program on. So the telethon suggestion, while it is great for any other charitable endeavor, it is not because the station cannot afford to keep Bongo Jerry on air. A change has been proposed which requires consensus, and Bongo Jerry has not signed off on it. If he signs off on it, I gather the slot has been available from the whenever the discussions took place, and he has not used it. So the station has actually been, scrambling in a manner of speaking to keep something on air during that time. But if Bongo Jerry is as ardent about serving his listeners as you guys are about hearing him, I'm sure he will come to some, reasonable arrangement, and you will have him back on air in no time. That is the understanding that I have. So what's the second suggestion? Go on now.
Yeah, as we speaking right here now, Vladimir Putin is giving a victory speech in Moscow.
Vladimir Putin.
A victory speech of what?
It's victory in Ukraine, the victory that they're having in Ukraine. Because Russia is winning the war, innit?
Oh, they are?
Yes, man, whether you believe it or not. They have captured 15 to 20% of the Ukrainian landmass that belongs to Russia. And he's celebrating and tell the Russian people about it.
So where is he withdrawn? What is happening?
They withdraw from a city named Kherson because they were outnumbered in Kherson. And they had to protect their soldiers, so they go on the next side of the river.
So
that's just one city.
So they conceded territory. All right, what do you think is the significance of it for the rest of the world and Jamaica in particular?
Right, that's what I'm telling you now. Second suggestion. You see, all that you see going on in the world, it is about monetary dominance. The American has weaponized its currency against the world. They're not producing anything, but they're just printing the greenback and using it to manipulate the world. And Russia and China and BRIC nations not in that anymore. So countries like Jamaica, which is a debt-based economy, based on debt, what you're going to find is that the government of Jamaica, whether it's the PNP or JLP government, they will have to protect the government first, and they're going to transfer that debt to the population. You see what is going on in the security industry now? They can't pay the security guards overtime, so they're going to have mass layoffs next year.
But isn't that always the case? I mean, is that anything new? Because the debt is always carried by the population. It's either tax dollars directly collected or
long-term debt.
Hello. Miss Minette, Pastor. Listeners, government debt, when you hear they say debt to GDP ratio, they're talking about the government debt, what the government owe them creditors.
Yes.
My debt that I have and your debt that you have, that's not in their calculation. They are pushing back the debt. They are pushing back the debt into the households now. So when they push look for example, they can't pay the security guard.
No, I'm saying, Neville, that is always the case. That's not anything new. It's always the people who have to cover the government debt. If you're saying we should expect some massive
more debt?
Yes, a massive influx of liability, then that's a different thing, because it would mean like some countries, inflation moved from maybe 10, 11%, and by the end of the year it is 100%.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying, please. No, listen, you see when them like us starting tell you say inflation at 10%.
Mm-hmm.
That is the government inflation, that's not my inflation. My inflation is about 20%,
Yes.
All right, we know that.
We know.
We
So,
know that.
what the government, let me make this point.
Yeah.
Let me make this point. What the government is doing is transferring its debt to individuals in the country for you to work out that. Because look what they're doing. They can't pay the police for overtime.
Well, tell me how it will manifest, because we're trying to prepare people for...
Let me tell you what's going to manifest.
Yes.
You're going to have mass layoff next year. Mass layoff in all sectors. Even the government sectors. Because the government employ the more security guards and they can't pay them.
Okay.
You're going to have the banks. If you look at NCB making these billions of dollars in profit and him not paying shareholders any dividends on their money. Okay? So you're going to have a mass blow up next year in Jamaica where people are going to take to the street because you see all of those strikes that you see occur this year in the public sector water commission. None of them are secreted, none of those disputes are secreted. Everybody that's operating under the carpet,
No, everything is waiting on this compensation plan to be accepted and put in effect. But you're taking us into considering what happens when a government goes broke, but big business in the country still are flush with cash.
Okay. All right. So.
No, they don't have any cash.
All right.
Neville. You understand what I'm saying?
No. All right, Neville. You're gonna have to call us back because we have another caller waiting, and we've given you a little bit of time.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, but the point that I'm making is that we, as a station over here,
yes,
we have to get our things going quickly before the crash comes.
Okay. All right.
Urgent.
Yes.
We got
All right.
it. We got it. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning.
Morning, Fortis.
Morning to you, Neville.
Yeah, him say must touch base with him.
Pastor First. Morning to you, Mr. Lawrence. Morning to you, Miss Minute. Morning to you, Light and the rest of Jamaica. Morning.
Good morning. Do you have Neville's number, by the way?
No, I have been shooting for numbers and I don't get it. No, but listen this.
Yeah.
Listen this. Neville, if you're listening, I have a place that I want us to meet at Willis Statue at 115A Mullines Road. And I'm going to give out a number upon the year because I don't get part. If they are interested, because I'm not waiting up. The magazine, the people them start prepare the magazine for shoot and all of that. So if him come, Who me just ask who want come.
Okay.
And they are going to see that this is viable and something. I don't do a talk shop. I do action.
All right.
And everybody know me as an action man.
All right.
So our entertainment named Solar Entertainment. We carry the biggest set of artists in Jamaica. Ray Goodman and Brown, Manhattan, Shy Light.
Okay.
So it's not a talk shop. I don't do a talk shop.
Okay.
I want to get back, Mr. Lawrence, I want to get back my land phone. That is important to me.
Okay.
It is too expensive to be calling on this line, this digital and flow. You buy I just buy credit put on the floor phone now and just use it and it's done. Cause them cheat me 4,000 already. Digital, I hit this me a call for and I've been with on it from never start until now.
Right.
Commercial and everything. Anyway, so I want them, I've got to talk again. And Corey, Never, Rastafari, Pastor Percy, I need you in this thing.
Okay, so.
Like him say, as you to have a work with, yes, but you can't afford the female.
Okay.
You cannot leave out the female. I have Garmex and I have up by brand shops, up by
and we're talking.
Price right there.
Yeah, right.
That got up by Garmex. So we have that for the ladies, and we have the thing them for the youth. The people them have people lining up. It's not. Never. It's not a talk shop now, you know.
Okay,
you
then.
have a thing where when they say boom, a boom.
All right, Fortis. All right, so we're ready to move then. All right.
Yeah, we're ready.
Ready.
Pastor, if I tell you, listen, 115A Mullines Road, and it's the place we're going to meet and greet is Willie's Touch Roof.
Okay then.
And you wouldn't believe what is there.
All right.
And the magazine is preparing. Junior Fender now preparing the magazine to roll.
Fortis. Okay then. All right.
Anyway, the next thing is that I didn't know that there's a PMP FM. I never know. So I would have liked the man was said yesterday to make me know which part of the PMP FM there. Because I like tuning to it sometimes.
All right.
Well, the only thing we heard is that there is an economist who is on it. What's his name again? Hyman, right.
Oh, Ratston is a Fortis now.
Well, then find him.
Find him.
When you find him, you will have found the station.
Yeah.
No, well, the Ratston is a Fortis. And from Ratston is an economist. And that man, him shoot.
Yeah.
And when Ratston shoot, him shoot. He's straight shooter.
Okay.
Enough people me here want, there was where them from again. A certain man on a radio station did ask him to come up.
Okay.
They must run him out of the hour. Epoch pastor. They were a thing.
Epoch?
And when the person on the FM, that CMJPL FM, say they must get Rastan out tight.
Okay.
Rastan come and say everyone inside here is tax compliant.
Okay.
Everybody clear them tax.
Okay.
That means say you can't run me. Another man them farm them thing. And them Radston and them virgin them farm it. And you tell them to run them out.
Well,
so,
okay, you can find them. All right, my brother, we have another caller on the line.
Yeah, man.
I wish you success with your program.
Okay. I'll see you.
And I hear, I ask for the numbers them. My number is there, and I don't hear nobody call me. Nobody not call me.
All right.
So I wonder what happened. So me have a place, nice place.
Okay then. All right. Fortis.
Cool.
Listen.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Welcome. All right. Well, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, we're hearing you. Good morning.
Good morning. I've gone to on the radio. One moment, please.
Yes.
Good morning. Hello. Yes, we're hearing you. Good morning. Un momento, por favor. One moment, please. Yes. Yeah, okay. I just called in time.
Yes.
A gentleman called earlier, mentioned about Savlamar.
Yes.
The reception, I'm getting 100% reception in Savlamar, so it depends on where in Savlamar, and I don't know how.
Okay.
We had problem a couple of weeks ago. That's one, but for the past few days, it has been good. It's perfect.
Okay, thanks for reporting that.
Yeah, pertaining to my friend who spoke a while ago, when I mentioned JLP FM and the other one,
PNP FM.
yes, there are a couple of factors, 3 factors that I...
Oh, I see, that you use to make your designation.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you them.
Okay.
That I put to come to the definition. With the JLP FM, the host is definitely on the JLP side.
Pro-government.
It's pro-government.
Pardon me?
Pro-government.
You mean pro-government or
yes,
okay.
JLP, support the JLP. And he has a second that come with him on Friday. He worked 4 days for the week. And the person who do the 5th day, he does not hide it. He tells people that if election call, he's going to vote for JLP.
Okay.
Good. I'm not hiding it, so I'm nothing wrong with that. I don't say anything wrong.
Freedom of expression. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. The second point now is, and this is a fundamental issue, is that 99.9999% of the people who call support the government at all times. You understand that?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. When I listen to them, because I listen to it every day. Huh? And how does what happen? They repeat in the night.
Okay.
And at the time I listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
They have a repeat program and I listen to it. So every day I listen to it. I listen at night. I don't sleep at night, I have a lot of things. Anyway, so 99. When a person calls, I can tell you who the person is, I can tell you where he lives, and I can tell you what he's going to say.
So are you saying that these are planned calls because it's the same people?
I don't know.
Oh,
and that's the point
you're not going that far. But
I don't.
So one factor is the position of the host.
Yes.
And the second is the position of the callers.
Yes.
What's the third?
No, I don't know there's a third.
Oh, I thought you said there were three factors. It's okay.
Well, I don't remember. So, but to the other side now, the PNP FM, it is called, and that's it, back to the other one. If anybody call like me to criticize the government, they tell the man, and two of them say the same thing. Say, I know this is a station if we call.
Oh.
That was the word that both of them know.
Okay.
The man over the other side, the man who said is a postman, is a retired postman. Parties and those guys, and he live at Sterling Castle. And he said, tell that man who calls, say, this is a station if we call.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Gotcha.
On the other side now, it wasn't because of Ross and Hyman why I say it is the PNP FM. Why I say that is now the host is, I wouldn't say he defends government or exactly against government or not. Although he said openly that he's a socialist.
Okay.
But the socialist that he defends, I support him. Is the type of socialism that what exists in the Scandinavian country like Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and so on. And he that is his position. And so I wouldn't say he's the host in this case, right? But if the callers know, you understand, 99.9999% of the callers are PNP and the different. On both sides I can call a dozen names.
All right. Well,
okay.
I'm grateful for all that explanation. Did you want to discuss something else this morning?
No, that's
you're just explaining your classification system. All right, thanks very much.
All right, then.
Yeah, welcome, man.
Okay.
All right.
But this gets interesting every day. JLP FM and PNP FM.
And it is it's fairly easy for people to come to conclusions like that based on what they're hearing and so on. So I don't
come to conclusions like that.
Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Yeah, so I don't fault people for coming to the different conclusions. I guess as long as
freedom of expression, yeah.
Good morning, and thank you for calling.
Good morning, Pastor. Good morning, my lady.
Morning, sir.
My beautiful co-host.
Well, say something I didn't want. Say I hear this man call this station a Rasta station too.
Oh,
yes.
Well, Rasta.
I don't know, it's confused, I hear him call this station and say three stations, say PNP and JLP and this is a Rasta station.
So Rasta man, man of God.
It must stop. It must stop this. What them call characterization of
that's all right. Just say a point.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. All right.
Labels happen.
No, yesterday the protest by the taxi drivers
and the bus operators.
I'm not in support of people, having tickets and don't pay it and all that type of thing. Because for you to get 100 ticket, it kind of sound away,
Yeah, that's
it sounds away, but what I hear people using, and I have to say, if one man 100 ticket, that is, we call it an outlier. When you have a bell curve and you have something way out there, and that is what people are using to
define the whole group.
And you can't do that. Because remember, yesterday we called somebody who is related to it, and he explained to us what the amnesty was about and so on. And that helped to clarify in my own mind what it is that it was talking about.
Yeah, but they were on the radio trying to justify it, and they couldn't explain why they think it was necessary. But I would have wanted the people in Jamaica to go further than this tax thing, because it is in shambles, and the whole country is in shambles, you know. And not only the taxi driving situation, and the tone of the government. I didn't like the tone of the government, you know.
Yeah, that's an important point because
I don't like the tone of the government because the government is putting out a thing that they are above board and what they are doing is with that government that has so much corruption out there, you know.
it's not. It lacks credibility.
Right, it lacks credibility. You're talking about discipline and all that type of thing. When you talk about indiscipline, those big people are being badly on the road. Discipline is how you manage the affairs of the country, you know.
Altogether, yes, you can't be clean with one hand and dirty with another.
Yeah, everything comes down to one thing, you know. So you can't be showing up people that you're so above board with discipline, and when you take out the finances of the countries and some people stealing there and lack of accountability and all the type of thing there. It's not sounding good to me.
And the withdrawal of labor is a legitimate form of protest. You can't say that when you withdraw your labor, it is lawless and disorder.
Right.
That you have to clarify what you're talking about. And the people who created a problem because they were harassing or trying to deal with strike breakers, so to speak, the fringe elements. You can't use that either to define the people's action.
Yes, because the police should be there to
absolutely, yes. People who are executing their legitimate right of protest need to be protected by the state power, not to be, disparaged and ignored and treated in a certain way. So I didn't like the tone of it either.
And it just showed how we as a people cannot come together and support.
Support a good cause. If you think it's a good cause, yeah.
If it's a good cause, because when I look at Jamaica, I was lying down in my bed last night and I was thinking about Jamaica.
Oh.
When a man has to pay $300 for a pound of chicken, right, and the minimum wage is $9,000, but the average man is getting in this country, how do they make it? Family?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember in the past, probably can back me up. In Portmore, in 1979, 80, you could get a 2-bedroom house in Portmore for $19,000, and the mortgage was $150 per month.
Wow.
Right? To compare that with a pound of chicken now. Right, and when you listen to the people that are going in this country, the ruling class, the intelligence and all those type of people, the people of Jamaica must rise up,
Yep. Well, it is happening.
We cannot live in a country where some people are getting. When you listen to the stock market and this and that, and how much profit they're making.
Yes, and the banks.
The people must get up, You can't live in a country where some people can buy food and some cannot buy food, none at all. You know what people going on with?
They were reporting on Fesco's profit, Fesco selling gas. And some people are doing obscenely well. And there are others of us who can't eat fresh fruits and vegetables, not even once for the week.
So the one of us is not in it together?
Yeah, no, we're not in it together.
What we have, us and them?
It is us and them.
Yeah.
We must wake up, the people of Jamaica must wake up, and all we are doing is electing these guys to drive around in air-conditioned vehicle and all them and come out and show disrespect to the people of Jamaica.
To the people. That is a good summary. We're right at the break now, my brother. So thank you for that spirited conversation. Thank you very much. Okay. We're going to take the station break.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Warning. When there is a hurricane warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you want a boat, secure it from land and turn on your yard if you a fisherman. Make sure you turn off every breaker, and before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, river bank, or low line area, if you see flood waters are rising, get out, get out. Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and sliding, get out, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice. Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how do I take taxi star?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
Winters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and thank you for calling. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome.
Yes, nice.
Go ahead, man.
Yes.
We're listening.
Yes, I'm going to. I want to start with the what? The PMP or the JLPFM. Interestingly, even the gentleman, some truth in what he said still are the same, right? Let me notice with that station. I call it now and again still. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was on it on Friday.
Yes.
When supporters of the Labour Party called the station, generally the hosts, plural, the two main hosts, they don't try to lecture them. For instance, now, somebody was saying that Mr. Warmington, they agreed, they like Mr. Warmington because Mr. Warmington is a plain man, you know, go on the beat around the bushes.
Mm.
And I called that, it was Friday, and I called the station and met the man who was saying, should I lecture the caller? She was a female caller because Warmington is not your ordinary street people or bushman. Warmington is a legislator. And based on his behavior, in contrary to Jamaica mission to the United Nations, first statement to the mission statement to the United Nations in the 8th of October 1962. And then quickly agreed with me, Everything most of women say I agreed with, but when the caller called and him never met the caller know that she was on the wrong track.
But was she on the wrong track to say that she likes a man who is plain spoken?
If she was on the wrong track.
Yes, that what is wrong with someone saying?
But Mrs. Mineta,
yes,
with the greater respect.
Yes.
If you know them boy gang, you know. If you know them boy gang, you know, you have to swallow, bite the lip and swallow your speech for the sake of the common good, you know.
So is that
and
right?
As a legislator.
No, but what I'm adverting your attention to.
Two different principles.
There are two different principles. Thank you, Pastor. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So one is you like somebody who speak what is on their mind and speak it straight, but then you have to be careful and wise in the things that you are saying based on the position that you are.
Right?
Right. So it's two different things, you know. You agree with me? You agree with me, caller?
Yeah, man. The gentleman, right? But when saying so, the Friday man, you know, him know who to promote when the time comes, you know, because things don't look so proper on the Labour Party side, the government side going forward, you know.
Okay.
So listen.
And I will never talk about 100 of security guards gonna get laid off come next year. Security guards gonna be one of the essential service in Jamaica, you know. If not say I'm to woman take over the system now, that means security needed more than any other time in Jamaica history.
True.
So there'll be a demand for their services and people will pay them.
Security guard.
No, he was emphasizing that the government is currently the largest employer of security. Not meaning they're employing the guards, they are employing the companies that employ the guards.
I know that.
When they can't continue those contracts anymore, then the government is going to cut those contracts. So the demand that is in the general community will pick up that slack if people can pay for it, because a service can be.
And they will pay for it. They will pay for it. You know why they have to pay for it? The young men, them not in security work again. Them were not in you and I know what. And besides, I can't tell the general when he move at on.
Yeah.
He's saying that on a station last week that the security company never put no gun on no man to employ them. I forced them to employ them, but remember that after the Supreme Court ruling, you know.
Yes, because contractual work is voluntary. You enter into it voluntarily.
Yeah, but with greater respect to the commander, the Supreme Court ruled that security guards should be treated like any other workers.
They're employees.
So
they're not contract workers.
Even if him not like the decision that was making, should I respect the court and make an appeal.
Okay.
So I think his statement after the court ruling was an insult to the court, the court and the security guard.
Okay. All right.
So all I'm saying, please, security will become essential in Jamaica. Yeah.
I pray that you're wrong on that point.
Press conference I will speak at Jamaica House, addressing the transport chaos in the city.
Yes.
And the armest, you know.
Go ahead.
Lawlessness is something you compromise, you know. You penalize lawlessness, you don't compromise it. People know this is I'm a PNP supporter.
Okay.
No disrespect. You don't compromise with lawlessness. You penalize people who are lawless.
So what is the lawlessness that you are referring to now?
The man if he broke the law.
Which law are we talking about? Which law are we talking about?
Some of them man, they should have paid them fee instead about they want more time to do what to become more lawless.
No, but hold on.
Which law are we talking about?
You listen to Miss Minette opening in terms of what the Minister of Information said in terms of conceding 2 points. You remember that yesterday?
I can't recall this. I never heard of this man earlier.
Okay, so she pointed out that he made 2 concessions. One, that they need to fix up the system in terms of how the database
that should accurately reflect paid tickets. They need to correct that.
Miss Morrison from the tax office said, contradict what one of the transport people were saying, you know. They say everything is all right as far as she knew.
Oh.
Well, that's as far as she knows.
Yeah, that's what. And the second thing is, the thing that the gentlemen were asking for the amnesty to pay, but normally with the introduction of the new law, That's what you were.
Yes, Minister Morgan explained that it is both precedent and good practice to have an amnesty before you introduce major changes to the law. But said he, they did it for the Road Traffic Act 5 years ago. The issue, of course, is that the delay in introducing the law is on government side. So the people who benefited from the amnesty 5 years ago are not the people who are saying, you're about to change the law on me, give me the usual allowance so I can put my house in order.
So you agree that they should be given an amnesty, right?
If the government has a practice of giving an amnesty before it introduces significant changes to the law, then it is a legitimate expectation. They're deserving of it.
Yeah, but somebody the indiscipline or this.
Yeah, but that's a different issue. Yeah, that's a different issue.
But if you know that still, especially our young men.
Yeah.
All right, my brother, we have another caller waiting.
Man, not something you play with in a society like woman. You can't run the risk way around with women. You can't run it with man in a society. Man have to discipline, both in terms of education and training and everything,
All right.
You can't take joke with the average woman. They don't do that with men, especially those from them teen to about 50 or thereabout,
All right. Then. Thanks very much.
And I think we are playing dolly house with our men.
Okay, sir.
That's one of our main social healing in Jamaica.
All right, my brother, we got to take another call. Thanks very much.
Oh, okay. You are free to do that. Thanks for listening.
All right, no problem. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're good.
But it's just to show that, you see, these people who are making laws are want to create laws, just not looking in the right direction at all. So what the tax apparatus is going through.
Yes.
Not saying that I support all that is happening.
Yes.
They see fit to demonstrate, and if they want to demonstrate peacefully,
yes,
they can do that.
I don't see no problem with it. Them cars go park out them cars on the roadside and stand up on the roadside and people who want to walk or people who want to drive can go about their normal business.
As long as they're not obstructing the flow of traffic, of course.
Yeah, they're not obstructing either the pedestrian or traffic.
Right, absolutely. That is a lawful, legitimate form of protest.
In the same breath and time is that you see the government coming with this gun amnesty.
Yes.
Look at things like gun. When them come with gun amnesty. And they don't think other organizations will come up with something to fit to please to themselves when they come with that stupid idea of gun amnesty.
Well, the minister spoke to it, He said it is customary and it is the normal thing. When you're changing the law, you create an amnesty period. And it makes sense because you want citizens to receive the law with some amount of tolerance and support. So he says that's why they do it for gun. And motorists are saying, no, you're going to make some widespread changes to the traffic law. It no matter that 5 years ago, the people who are before you now weren't the ones before you 5 years ago. So the same thing would apply. And so now they've pushed themselves in a box.
That corner.
And you're right. If you do it for one, you must know that people are going to say, well, it's about time.
Well,
for me too.
The public and our whole, driving public and our whole, the motorists and our whole pay some illegal money to the government. Some tickets them get.
Yes.
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 No, the motorists are right then. It is not right, yes, but we are going to amend certain parts of the road traffic law. And doing this, I'm going to give 2 weeks. Not an amnesty, but a lenience. And this ticket that's going to have outstanding. If it's said now, then we're not going to take out the whole 100%, But we go and take off 20 or 15% off it.
Yes.
And to clear up all these outstanding tickets. So next week, when we put the thing in place, we can't say we'll never get something.
No, what you are saying sounds very reasonable, and what the people are asking for is even more reasonable, because they're not asking for any of the fine to be taken off. They're saying, from what the gentleman who came on the program yesterday said, they're saying, give us time to pay the thing in full. And those of us who pay some already and can't find the receipt, we are even prepared to pay it again, so your system can be fully updated. So when you start with the new law, everybody start with a clean slate.
Fresh start.
I understood that's what they're saying.
It's not saying the taxi men, them are bully, you know. I see this government ain't for now. Them are the bully.
And listen, man, government work for the people. So even if the people are asked for something unreasonable, you have an obligation to meet with them, make sure they understand why what they're asking for is unreasonable, and if there's something more reasonable that you can offer them, you offer it, because you work for the people. Government and people are supposed to be at war.
There we go. And the next issue, Mr. Stanley, I heard some rumors that in firearm gets stolen.
Yes, I see it reported in July. In July, the report is that it happened in July.
Of this year?
Of this year. Well, yes.
But you see, it's not unfortunate sometimes when the government is under pressure, you know, them try to push out something else.
Yes, man.
Create diversion or something else.
Yes, it smacks of that. Because that is not something that should have had to go to the DPP to await a ruling, and the ruling is pronounced dramatically at a point when the government itself have all kinds of issues.
Yeah, they have things with school violence.
It smacks of manipulation.
But I get a stolen from your car, right?
Yes. It is reported.
Look at the pastor. Look at the pastor. The pastor beside this car begin coming up.
Yes.
Right beside this car begin to when gun get stolen. What I'm saying now?
He was convicted, and it's under appeal. Yeah. But he was making the point that the police seem to come to a conclusion that if your gun not on your person, that is an act of negligence. So anything that happened to it, you should be charged. And obviously it went to court and he was convicted. But we don't live in a society where you have adequate arrangements to deal with securing the firearms. I know that because I was in court with someone who had a licensed firearm, and I advised them that the court must have some arrangements at the police security desk to secure people's firearm, and they had none in the Supreme Court of Jamaica. So if you don't have any there, I'm going to see where else. Yes.
I went to a station with a friend, I same thing, the police are looking here, let's go to a yard. We don't have the resources to the yard here, go. Can't go to a yard, and come to your business.
So in an environment where that is how things are, what you going to expect people to do? They have a firearm for a purpose.
I never can tell. So sometimes when you leave it, then there's some way you could actually save a life or do something.
Absolutely. You have it for protection. So, you know, it's just the nonsensical world in which we live and how unreasonable we are in approaching things.
When
a policeman I tell you that, say you must carry it home, go left here.
I am telling you.
Yeah.
But we got to do what with eyes, you know. And younger people like myself, you have to open the eyes and look at what is going on in the country and make an example out of it.
And you know, like if a parliamentarian can end up in a situation like Mr. Paulwell is in, it should inspire him to ensure that the laws and the arrangements on the ground change for the better.
Then again, if you know I'm saying, you're not going to look at it.
Precisely. So now that it happened to him, who knows? He would have sat in Parliament and hear them debating some of these acts and realized that we're passing legislation without putting arrangements on the ground that allow people to be in compliance. Because a regulation that says your firearm must be on your person at all times don't allow for when you go to your child's school, for when you go to court. For when you even go to some government offices that have no place for you to secure it, but you can't enter with it.
Well, I'm going to start make some shape in the vehicle.
and then the people that will just look for the vehicle that's riding low because it have safe in it. All right, my brother, thank you.
Take care.
You too.
All right. So by the time take bad things make laugh.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, ma'am. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Here. Thank you.
Yeah, tell me something. What I'm to Jerry? Jerry Suman.
You're asking me. I am in the slot for 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And I am not the station owners or managers.
Yeah.
I can't give you the answer. You know, I've been trying, and someone wrote me a note online that says, Miss Minette, Jerry's not going to be happy that you're putting his business out there like that, like what you're telling now, because I was trying to explain what I understand to be the situation. So I don't know if you're in touch with him or someone close to him, then that might be a good place. I don't have a statement from the station managers to explain what happened with Jerry.
About how long now him stop in half of the year?
I have no idea, sir.
I don't. Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to talk to me during my time slot?
Jerry, one of my favorite person who listen to this program.
Yeah.
Like him, I'm a good friend.
All right.
Well, then, if he's your good friend, you'll be able to find out what is happening.
But I don't have a number or nothing. You know?
What kind of good friend are you? My good friends have my number.
I just shoot you, but I just call the program and read. Me and him read much.
Yes.
You're not reason with us this morning?
No, I don't have anything to say.
All right, my brother. Thank you for calling.
Yes. From there, I wonder what I'm doing, you know?
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Turn on the radio.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
How
Good
are
morning,
you, my
Cruz.
brother?
How are you?
Not bad.
Go ahead, we're listening.
With the gun.
Yes.
What does it take to get a gun license?
Oh,
Or
Lord.
a permit?
Yeah.
Does a permit and a license different or the same thing?
Same thing.
Same thing. You have to get 2 recommendations, one from a justice of the peace, somebody who know if in excess of 5 years that can speak to your general personality, how your temperament and all of those things. So if somebody can't recommend you, has to be a justice of the peace, a minister of religion, superintendent, or something like that. You won't get it.
You have to apply
for it. You have to apply for
and
it.
pay a fee.
Right.
And the questions on the application
And you have
form.
to do police record and all of them things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they are looking at your integrity and your conduct as well as your temperament and
behavior is important.
The kind of whether you're a responsible person. And you have to show that you need it.
Yeah.
You must have a good reason for wanting it.
So, what if you have a record already and it got expunged? It gets expunged. Can you still get it?
You know, I don't know. You'd have to ask the FLA, Mr. Darling, about that.
Well, for sure, if you have had a record and it has been expunged, you must still disclose that you had a record. These things that test integrity and as well as whether you are responsible require you to answer the questions truthfully, so the people who are making the decision can assess you as you are at the time of making the application. We can infer from the report about the connected individual whose record was expunged but he still got a license. We can infer from that report that those who are making the decisions do take into account the fact that a person can have had a bad irresponsible history, but they have reformed themselves to the point where they can be trusted to have a firearm.
Oh, I did pick up a police record. Simple one. It was malicious destruction of property, but it wasn't like I break up a big old place. It was just a stool I kicked down a club.
Mm-hmm. So now you see that offense, the details of it would lead one to say that man lacks self-control. And you would have to have a recommendation in today which shows that your ability to control your temper has improved significantly over the years.
And that was from 1986, so
Yes,
it's a long time ago.
Yeah. So
no, I was younger.
There you go. But then maybe your aim would have been better too.
And I knew of a fact that some guys down here broke into a police officer home while she was sleeping on her bed. Her gun was on her dresser, and they took it. That was not reported. You're hearing it from the horse's mouth. I'm positive about that.
When you say horses, either you were sleeping beside her or you took the gun. Which is it?
I knew the person that took the gun.
Oh, and him describe exactly what went on.
It's a fact.
All right, that is very close to the horse.
A lot of people lose their gun and it's not reported and all kind of stuff. But
yes, because but that's not unreasonable, you know.
I don't think you should get charged for losing your gun.
Not if it is stolen. Because man can overpower you and thief it despite all the good care that you exercise. I don't think if your gun is stolen. I think if you go to a party and when you leave, you can't find your gun.
Because I've been drinking and you're drunk.
Because you were drinking and you put it on in the bathroom to pee or something and leave it. But if someone stole your gun, I don't think you should be charged. And maybe that's why the police took long and then sent it to the DPP, because they probably had a report of maybe the police were called on the scene when it went missing, so they saw the circumstances and they said, no man, but this is no negligence. I mean, maybe it is that your tire bursts on the road and you stop. And as you come out, two people come and say, Mama, may I help you with that tire there? I want to take your gun, take your wallet, take whatever. You can be robbed, not negligence.
Yeah, it can happen.
I don't know the situation from Mr. Paul, though.
How much does it cost roughly to get a licensed firearm in this country?
Meaning what? The cost of the firearm or the cost of the application?
No, the application and the license, yeah.
We don't know. I don't know. You'd have to call. They don't know about that.
I like how you ask Pastor, because you assume Pastor have one. And you nobody ask me because you know me not have any.
We don't know.
If I was a pastor, I wouldn't need one.
So why you ask Pastor? You try to trick him?
No,
he's a male. Most time it's always a male.
You know what? You have a wonderful day, and make sure that now you have to give me 2 fish when I pass through your country. I will not settle for just
fish.
one.
Which one you want? Shrimps or fish?
Oh, I do love shrimps. So yes, shrimps would be equal to 1 fish.
All right. Oh, okay then.
All right. Have a lovely day. Thank you. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. There are a lot of women with licensed firearms.
Yeah, I know. I know some of them too.
Yeah.
I don't mess with them.
They're good shots.
Yeah. It's all right.
Sound like they shoot off the pasta. Good morning and welcome. My brother, we're trying to be cheerful under some difficult circumstances. How are you?
Are you African?
President, I'm not give thanks for it, and it's good to be here,
So what's on your mind this morning?
Something I listen to the gun something there.
Yes.
I remember when, what the pastor name, Al Miller?
Yes.
I remember when Finn gun go missing. How the whole country come down on him,
Yes.
I want me to wonder if he's a mother or something,
He's a man of God. God kept him.
So, here we go now. Why a politician want a gun to go walk on with?
You mean they're not at risk? They shouldn't be concerned about their safety. I shouldn't.
This minute here, why nobody actually a politician in Jamaica?
That might be because they have guns.
No, Miss Minute. You are a police and politician and gunman a shoot out.
Well, though Mr. Paulwell is well known, he's an MP, he's not a sitting minister of government. So maybe the security arrangements that would make him comfortable are not in place right now because his party is not in power. But I don't know. The truth is, I would easily say, why anybody want gun? Gun is headache.
Yeah.
You saw me talk about my brethren.
So
the pastor find out that,
headache.
Them shouldn't even have it,
And it's expensive too, because look at that. If it gets stolen from you and you're in legal troubles, that costs you. And
when it's stolen for you, one more gun that out on the road.
Yeah, yes. And that's the great danger with it. Because yes, it is a gun that is out there upon the road, and it's in somebody's hands.
You saw me talk about my brethren.
Yeah.
I heard on the road there, where the people might be murdered left, right, and center,
Okay. African, hold fast now. We come up until the 9:30 break. So just hold while we come back quickly.
No problem.
Thank you.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Warning. When there is a hurricane warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you wanna boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard. If you a fisherman, make sure you turn off every breaker, and before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, river bank, or low line area, if you see flood waters are rising, get out. Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and sliding, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Praise the Lord. God is good. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience, and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling him because trust me.
Winters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back. Thank you so much for holding. Go ahead.
Morning again, love and bless.
Yes, my brother.
Go ahead.
You know, this world is a living organ.
Yes. It is.
Huh?
It is,
a
yes.
living organ. You're sure about that one, my friend?
Consist of living things.
Mm-hmm.
we human beings, we need to contribute to living things to, you know.
We're listening. Go ahead. We're listening. You're going somewhere, so we're listening to what the part you make.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The world right now is in a turmoil, you know, love and bless.
Yes.
And it seems like we're not doing anything to make it better, you know. Everything where the people them are dealing right now, we contribute to death in a community.
There are some things, you know, African, that we know to be true. One, we know that only a few persons are going to have the fortitude to stand up and fight for the right, for righteousness, for justice. Most people are going to take the easy way out. But we also know that it don't require a mighty army to overcome what we are seeing. It's just for the willing and those who know what to do to step into position and function.
Miss Minety.
Yes.
There is no easy way out, you know.
Okay. That is true. That is true. But you don't know that. You don't know that, you know, until you do something for a peaceful life and realize that you made a mistake. And, you know, it's because we live and we die why man don't learn the lesson. By the time you learn the lesson, it's time for you to leave. And a new person come along who don't know that, you don't know your experience. And it's important for us to share our experiences so that the young ones don't make the same mistakes. I know from early that there's no easy way out. But I learned it first because I tried the easy way out and found that it took me into another hot water.
It wasn't the easy way that you are trying. You did not do what is right.
Well, now I know, and sometimes that gives you more pain. But when you stay the course for that one, you triumph.
So, if we don't share Miss Minety.
Yes.
We have to put law in place which consists of sharing equally.
Well, you see, that is the one that your creator said, I place it in your heart. So you and I have to spend time unlocking that law and understanding it and living it. Because even
living it is one in a Miss Minety.
Yeah.
But the turmoil with the world, you know. It caused by distrust.
Mistrust, yeah.
Hatred.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all those things
overcome by love.
And all those things. If I saw you live in a way that is consistent with what you preach and what I believe, I would trust you. I can't trust you when your actions and what you speak are at odds. So when I say there is something inside of us that the Creator say, I give them a new heart. I have given them a heart of flesh, not of stone. It requires you and me to vibrate with that heart.
And bring it practically.
And bring it out in how we live and how we move.
How we deal with each other. Yeah,
so
man.
Even a simple thing like the taxi drivers take to the street, or they didn't take to the street actually, they withdrew their service because they feel they're not getting fair treatment, fair hearing from their own government. All of us must know that that's us out there. And if we don't, and if we not support them in getting the attention and the fair and right attention of the government, in the end, we cheat ourselves. So when I see them withholding their service, I know that they're taking a hit in their pocket. For me as well.
Miss Minety.
Yes, sir.
When them withhold them service, who them withhold it from?
Well, there you ask a nice question, because is my housekeeper, is my son's teacher, is the same people who make my life work, who are inconvenienced, and therefore it becomes my problem.
Miss Minety.
Yes.
The Minister of Transport, him have a building.
You mean a ministry?
Conducting business, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What them call it?
Are you talking about the ministry building?
Ministry of Transport on Maxwell Avenue.
Yes.
I think that's where.
How much of the taxman circle on the building with them car?
Oh, that's what you're saying. I mean, they should blockade it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you hear me now? You come and stop me, fight, and stop me talk about my business, and I'm going to support you. And Miss Mility?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Listen to me, man. Them need to learn to do them thing, brethren. If you're against who, the people who take a thing and a get ticket, you're against them, you're going to circle around to them office.
Okay. I hear you.
You know, come see me a drive my car and come there drive me out the two before. You think a good thing that Miss Mility?
No, that's not a good thing.
No, we're not supporting
that's
that.
That's not a good thing. And those are the kinds of actions that can make a legitimate protest become something else.
Yeah, which is what happened.
Miss Mility,
yes.
When the government says they might give them $15 on their money, you know, them say them want $150, and we out here have put on the $35, you know.
Yes.
I want to take them taxi and them say, we're fair, and we should them 120. Them say, run me out of that.
Okay.
Yeah, hear me now, my brethren. The people have to learn to do them things better, brethren. They can't deal with we, so.
Yeah. Because then, of course, you see, they need our support.
With solidarity.
All right, Miss Minute.
Yeah.
So what we are done?
No.
Listen, man, what you're saying just shows how much of a distance we need to travel to get this right, because we can't alienate one another from the same struggle of which we are a part.
Yes, Miss Minute, you hear me? It's good to be here, yeah?
All right
then, African. But it is raised some important points. Yes, because
he always does, actually.
You have another call. Good morning. Caller, welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome, George.
George! George!
How would that?
George!
I will call out your name.
George! My friend.
How would that, man?
King George.
King George, how are you today, my friend?
Oh, my goodness.
I know I would bring out his British accent.
I heard you.
You're good, my friend.
Well, I'm here. Boy, I said the JOTC bus them work yesterday.
And they're working today again?
Yeah, man. Yeah, lady enough, boy. I said the JOTC bus them to run, man. So they look at taxi them people, them are hurt nobody. The JOTC bus them come out in a full force.
Yeah, but
all the bus that carry the handicapped people, them are carry people to and forth. You understand me? Let me tell you something. No, it's not the first or the second or the third time I heard police arrest a bus driver. Him have $100 ticket. Went in front of the judge, they told him must give him what they need, 6 months to clear the ticket. The man only pay one ticket and go back and drive. No. If you have $100 ticket, your license is supposed to be suspended, you're not supposed to be on the road, you're supposed to, the near things on the road, you're supposed to ride a bicycle.
But George,
you understand me?
Yeah, I hear that. But I'm saying, because they have a spokesperson, the gentleman came on yesterday, and they are trying to do what is called self-regulation. But here's the problem them have. Them say 35,000, that's the number I quoted yesterday, innit?
37,000 operators are on the road.
And they have, in their association, them are about 2,500. But they were very strong in terms of people break the law, they must be punished. And if anybody is there, so that is what they are saying. But if you only have about 10% and so many people, your question is, how do you regulate or
you get even 90% to be compliant?
Because the truth is, we are indisciplined on the road. I see it all the time, and some of the time I hear them say, Daddy, calm down. Because some of what they do really
boggles the mind.
Yes.
And it really comes down to an issue of safety on the road. Some of the tickets, mind you, are of a different order. When they tell you that you have no place to drop off passengers and you get ticketed for dropping off the passenger at the roadside or picking up or idling in the wrong lane, or when there's no place for you to park and take up passengers. So there are some aspects of it which speak to other problems in the sector. But for the most part, I am concerned about what this behavior means for safety on the road.
True.
Because you never see them.
No, we see them all the time, man.
You can't see how them take the sidewalk and how them
All those
let
things.
them walk push off of the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for those people...
They want to get to $1 trillion. But you ever see them?
No, we see them all the time.
You ever see them touch on the sidewalk?
Yes, man.
That's roll for stone and the tire them.
Yeah. But I mean,
and they
to
come
me...
like them have no remotes for nobody.
But all of that
Look for the access to Ghana for Kansas Spring Road. With the bus driver. He might try to cut through and cause accident and cause people like, no, you notice to the north coast or the south coast, it's be a bus driver crashing. And you would want to come back in a town and drive in a B-side bus. Them take it for them, the next bus in front of them are going to get the road and try running after the road. Let me tell you.
No, let me just...
Dangerous and careless driving.
Aye, and I agree. I'm in 100% in agreement with you.
If them and the police offering if you take with the bus, take with them license, throw it away, make them go ride bicycle. Yeah, out of order.
But the question is, if you were to, George, you hearing me? If you were to do a quick survey of Jamaicans in terms of how they see the taxi operators, the bus drivers, is it widespread? Is it a small pocket of the same repeat offenders? Who is it really? What is your experience? That's what I'm asking. Your experience is that everybody, we just throw all of them into one and deal with it? Or is it that only a few people doing the same thing over and over again?
Yes, I think it's the same person doing the same thing over and over.
Okay. All right.
And still at that. So we get driver license, driver after you have $100 ticket and your license suspended. We get license from now.
I don't know.
Someone end up with a 2-3 license.
Uh-oh.
License no driving.
License is a person. So
yes, as we lose George, the producer says license not drive vehicle, which is true. Just like how cameras don't deter crime.
They don't.
Just to make an old point.
They don't.
All right. Well, we're at the end of the program. Sorry, George, we lost you. Maybe tomorrow we can pick up.
George again.
Yes, it was good to hear George again. Well, let's do the wrapping up. Are you coming in on it, Mr. Producer? I see you fixing your glasses. We welcome your voice. But you need to speak.
Interesting morning.
Ah, yes.
Quite a lot on the plate. And it's good to hear people weighing in on the various issues, and we need to keep it going. And it's not just weighing in, but we also need to encourage persons to come forward to support the cause that are legal, legitimate causes, and also to be responsible, even as we protest and do the various things in order to get the attention of the powers that be, so that we can get the right response. So that's my piece.
Parents. We're in Parent Month. Just reminding us of the awesome responsibility that we have in terms of setting the right foundation, in terms of being involved in our children's lives. Because if we fix that problem, then a lot of the solutions that we see coming to the fore in terms of the opposition sportsman and education, speaking about cameras and being what he's suggesting in terms of part and so on. We have to take responsibility. These children did not force themselves to come here or choose to come here. They were brought by us into the world. So we have a responsibility as we are celebrating Parents Month that we do right by our children in terms of growing them up in a way that indeed they can thrive and become all of what they need to be. And this thing in terms of what's happened on the roads, government, you have a responsibility to respond in a right manner in regards to the people. What they're saying, is it a legitimate cause or is it illegitimate? If it is legitimate, we need to listen because you have to guide and direct. Let us not go back into the same thing. Remember Clifton, it was Klansman who was doing what they're doing. Is this the same kind of pattern we are hearing now? Yeah, we can't do that, man. Yeah.
Okay, so Lowell spoke to people participation and, just applauding what we see coming up. You have spoken to the need for parents to be involved and to put the children first. I am going to just mention that we still rely on our government or managers to be the role of mediator when different sections of society are at odds in terms of what they want, to be the role of facilitator when moving parts need more room or want to go in new directions, to be that force that manages the tension between what is good for the society and what people want to do in the exercise of their independent rights. I focus on that because anything that the people are saying, everything that the people are saying must be given some value and meaning. And we rely on our government to capture those expressions of desires and intent and find some way to create a useful result. They are the managers. That's why we put them there. If not, I would just fight out my issue with you and may the better man win.
And you would win.
Well, is that because I'm the better man?
I don't know.
Or because I'm the woman? But, you get the point I'm making.
Yeah.
If we have to help ourselves, then we don't need the government. And you see now them affair of gun amnesty because so many people wanted to help themselves and help themselves to other people things too.
Mm-hmm. And defend themselves because the breakdown of law and order within the communities.
Yeah. Right. When you get ticket and you can ignore it till it build up to 100, you know what you have to tell yourself every time you see that pile of tickets to justify that behavior? You have to disconnect from being a part of the organized society. So you've lost people when they don't find any usefulness in being a part of what we're doing as the body politic. Anyway, I bless you all for participating in the show with us this morning. Thank you to those on air, those online. Tomorrow morning, God's willing, we'll be back here on the job. And of course, thank you to the engineer and the producer.
The number one engineer.